Well, 6 months ago, we started the CMAX Premier League season here at Softball South Australian. And this afternoon, we have our first elimination game. It's a battle between the third place Sturt Falcons and the fourth place Glenelg Rebels. Winner into the prelim final. Loser, their season comes to an end. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are watching around the world. My name's Eric Ballnar, joined by Bill Benedictson. A couple Canadians on the call. Canadians turned Aussie. Bill, thanks for joining me here.
They said it would never happen, but here it is, bud, me and you.
It's an interesting one. It's the third place Sturt Falcons, and how they got to third was just chaos on Wednesday night. And looking back, it's probably easier to explain it that what they needed to do was win but not allow 6 runs. They won, and they allowed exactly 6 runs. It ended up with a tie exactly with West Torrens on wins and runs allowed. That's the tiebreaker. It rolls back on head-to-head, and Sturt are playing in an elimination game instead of a double chance. But an amazing season for Sturt. They're just consistent from start to finish every year. They're always in first, second, or third. They're playing in the finals, and it's no different this year.
Yeah, I agree. Wednesday night was chaotic and exciting. We got to see, we didn't see Sturt's game, but we were watching on iScore. West Torrens was winning easily and then basically had to defend a run. Was well up. It looked like they were going to pitch Talia Sutton, but instead went to Drzinski just to make sure they didn't concede that run, because as you said, it went to runs against, which are tied, and then head-to-head runs against, which West Torrens had the advantage.
Meanwhile, Glenelg, an amazing story once again. Now, just a few years ago, they didn't have enough players or quality of players to put a team in the Premier League. Now, a couple years later, a couple years of rebuilding, a huge transfer, which we'll talk about at length in this broadcast, and for the first time in 7 years, Glenelg are back in the finals, and they've just sort of been this feel-good Cinderella story all year long, and now they have a chance to cause some damage in the finals.
Yeah, they were the battle-back team. How many games did we watch that they looked like they were down and out and came back, beat Port Adelaide, and a couple of big come-from-behind wins? I think Nat Brinkworth might be in the running for Coach of the Year, the way she's managed all the injuries they've had. And some of those players actually coming back, as we see in the lineup tonight. I don't want to steal any thunder, but Gemma Cochran, who broke her hand or wrist, is back in the lineup tonight.
It's the never say die Glenelg Rebels. Now, one intriguing layer about this 3-4 game, since COVID, the team that's won this game has gone on to the championship. Meaning that tonight, the way it works, there's a 1-versus-2 game and a 3-versus-4. The loser of this 1-versus-2 game, who plays the winner of this one after, has lost every time. There's been a straight sets loser in each of the last few finals since COVID. So the winner of this game, historically, since COVID, has gone right to the grand final. So you get hot playing elimination softball pretty early on. It has that sense of urgency. And as the teams take the field, let's take a look, and I think there might be a couple late changes. We'll see if there's no changes. We've got the confirmation from the umpires. There's a look at Sturt defensively. Sarah Tonkin, one of the best catchers in the competition, and Belle White, who is going to be probably one of the top 3 favorites, you'd think, heading into tomorrow night's Cap Coral medalist. She's one to watch at shortstop, quick release. She's just an all-around great defender. Oh,
absolutely. Having a fantastic hitting season as well. In their first year, out of national competition, duties, seems revitalized out there, playing very well, hitting very well.
She is the Olympian. Now, this is Sydney Horton. She is leading things off. She is a product of Georgia Southern in the NCAA. She's a key part of this lineup. You can see that .309 batting average, but Courtney Shepard returned from injury late in the year. That .348 mark is fantastic. Tate Nicholson, a feel-good story, but somebody from that bottom part of that Glenelg lineup, you can see those numbers, not too many of them above 200, only one. Someone's going to have to step up and get a couple hits if they want to win this game.
Yeah, that's going to be a big thing for them. You look at that batting average, it's good. Good batters there. We know they can hit, but it's not astronomical. I'm still surprised that they've got Horton catching and Shepard's not in the catching role, but at third base.
We'll get to the defensive makeup of Glenelg when they come up to bat, but let's get this elimination final underway. Zolly Adams, a promising young pitcher with Sturt. 2.03 ERA this season. She has been consistent. She doesn't blow up too often, so you know she's going to give you a competitive outing. Sydney Horton will lead things off. Experience playing NCAA Division I softball, and Glenelg, back in the finals after 7 years, are underway, and it's a ground ball right to the Olympian Belle White. And already you get to see those quick hands from Belle.
How about that? Sydney Horton batting from the left side and jumps on the first pitch. Hard hit, but a perfect little short hop to Belle, and throws a cannon across there to Riley Moore to get that first out.
Bree McGee stepping in at second in this lineup. She's only played 10 games this year, and most of them were in the second half. She wasn't going to be playing in the Premier League as often as she thought she was this season, taking a step back. Georgia Bevan had been playing in center field, but injuries brought Bree McGee back into the fold. And Georgia Bevan, unavailable today. She's with the Adelaide Crows over playing Gold Coast, as this is chopped over towards second base, and Rachel Tonkin makes the play. And this is probably the start you'd want from Zolly Adams. Contact, nothing hard hitting, couple easy outs.
Perfect start for Zolly. Go after the batters, make them put in play, and let your gloves do the work. Little light pop fly, slight bit of sun there, but Rachel Tonkin keeps herself turned sideways so she's not looking right into it. Retires the second batter.
Courtney Shepard, the third batter in the lineup for Glenelg. Sort of a star is born season for Courtney Shepard. She had put together a couple really good seasons, and this year hitting .348, the leader of this Glenelg side in the 17 games she's played. She's turned in to that key cog in the Glenelg lineup, and a big reason that they're back in the finals after so many years. 1-1 count she'll face. She gets that in there for a strike. It's hot here at the Diamond Sports Facility on beautiful Ghana land here, home of the CMAX Premier League. 28 degrees, feels a little bit warmer in the sun. Shadows will be looming soon. You can see the long shadows across the field. And it's a 2-2 count.
Yeah, it's quite humid today. I think that's the big difference. We've had some hot, dry the last week during the open men's and the break. The ladies all had the break. But it's a little sweaty today. You can see the puffy clouds if you get a shot of the outfield.
And Courtney Shepard has shown her patience this year, and she's worked her way back in the count. It's full.
She has. I think Courtney Shepard's a very good hitter. Looks very patient at the plate. Had that little bit of injury, but she looks like she's ready to go.
And it's the first base runner of this elimination final. And coming up to bat was is now the recruit of the offseason. That is, well, it feels a long time ago now, but Yo Grauer made the move from Port Adelaide over to Glenelg. And wherever she's gone in her career here in South Australia, teams have found success.
She was the big move in the offseason. For her to line up here has made, well, she's a big part of Glenelg's rise this year, definitely.
When she came over to South Australia, originally as an import with Port Adelaide, she helped them get over that hump. She got them to their first ever grand final. She was the pitcher of record, the starting pitcher in that grand final that they won, breaking a 66-year appearance drought. Won their first. Then on the team that you coached with the Stars.
I was going to say, also a big part of our Open Women's Stars team that year, 2022.
Also won a
championship, and was our MVP for that team.
And it's a walk, a 4-pitch walk, so it's 2 runners on for Sasha Penglaze. And I don't know if you're Justine Adams, you probably don't mind not having anything too much in the zone for Yo Grauer, and you kind of tempt fate with the bottom part of this Glenelg.
A little bit of respect there, just to not get hurt, not pitch her anything she can hit hard, and try their chances with Sasha. Not taking anything away from Sasha. Sasha, a very good hitter, likes to put the ball to the right side, good contact hitter.
The most consistent player in this Glenelg lineup in terms of games played. She played in 22 of them for Glenelg. It is a 24-game season. No one was able to play in all of the games. This team was just riddled with injuries, especially in the back half of the year. And they still found a way to claw their way into the finals. Now Zolly Adams just struggling with her command just a little bit. A couple free bases, has a runner in scoring position for the first time today. And she'll strike out looking, so Zolly Adams finds that inside edge. They had a runner in scoring position. They don't wager a swing, and we're through the top part of the first.
Yeah, it looks like Sasha here just gets caught looking, and she just couldn't pull the trigger, and she was already heading to the dugout. You can see before the call, she knew it.
Well, we'll take a look at the lineup defensively for Glenelg, and you can see here the outfield, Bree McGee. She's been playing great at center field since she's been sort of thrust in that position due to some injuries moving around. Tate Nicholson, a big breakout player as well at second base. The big one here, Jade Peterson getting the start. Grauer's at first. I'm sure she'll pitch at some point in this game, but that was the decision that Nat Brinkworth had to make, is who do you open with, Jade Peterson or Yo Grauer, knowing both would play in there, but Jade getting the start.
Yeah, that's I'm quite surprised, but it's probably the best way to go. Jade, always the leading strikeout, one of the leading strikeout pitchers in the Premier League. Go with her first up, and then you got Grauer to come in, and Grauer throws a little harder, so the speed's going to improve a bit there.
2.42 ERA for Jade Peterson and 107 strikeouts in 74 innings, but the lineup she has to face, well, it's daunting for the best of them, especially in that top half. Sarah Tonkin, Belle White, Maddie Cameron, 1, 3, and 4 in the lineup. They are ranked number 2, 3, 4, respectively, in the batting title this season, and all of them putting together some phenomenal efforts. Sarah Tonkin's turned into a real leader of the Stars as well. It has been a pretty formidable, especially top 6 in this lineup.
Yeah, that on paper looks like danger right there. Nobody below 300 all the way down to the 7th batter, and even then it's only 293. So yeah, there's not much break there for Jade or for Yo.
They're hitting 352 as a team, Sturt, this year. It leads the competition. No one hits the softball like Sturt can. And a pair of Tonkins will lead things off. This is Sarah, formidable duo of the two sisters. Sarah hitting .470 this year with 11 walks and a .545 on-base percentage.
It's been a while since they've had Rachel in the number 2 spot. She
has grounded over towards third. There's Courtney Shepard. He said, yeah, I don't know if she was going to start or where Horton would go. Well, yeah. Courtney Shepard almost got tested at third.
I was just going to say, Tonkin's usually been batting down the order a little bit, sort of reigniting the order at the end. The 2 spot, Abby Weir's been up there in a bit, but a little bit of a change tonight, almost like they've switched the 2.
386, Rachel Tonkin is batting. She's on deck. Sarah Tonkin golfs one towards center left field. Bree McGee has to track it down and fight the sun. Not as easy as a play as it would probably see, as you'll see on the CMAX replay.
Yeah, Sarah, when she hits this on the CMAX replay, you see just gets a bit under it, and for a moment it looked like it was going to fall in the gap, but if you look, Bree's looking right into the sun there, and makes a great catch.
1 down. Rachel Tonkin, .480 on-base percentage on the season. All 4 of those first batters have an on-base percentage over 500. Riley Moore is in the 5-hole, and she's been hot this last half of the year. She's hitting .375. Seems like a step down, amazingly. Is this one in foul territory? And what a catch from Yo Grauer. An unbelievable basket catch. Shades of Willie Mays for Yo Grauer.
Over the shoulder, running back, and throws the glove out, and soft hands just watches that one right in the glove. You know, when you see that lineup first up and you think you got Yo at first, and there might be a defensive weakness with that, she's shown right there she's capable to play anywhere.
Belle White steps up to bat, and that is how crucial that out is, getting both of the Tonkins down. It means that Belle White has nobody on base. Now, she can put it over the fence. She's done that this season. But a phenomenal year with 21 RBIs, 10 extra base hits, hitting .541 on the season. No one would call you crazy if you said she could win the Kath Coral medal tomorrow, and she knocks one to right field. It's in for the first base hit of the game in front of Sophie Walkup, and that is why getting those Tonkins out was so important.
Yeah, good piece of hitting there by Bell. Almost took the second base there when the throw came in and kind of skipped past. It would be Sophie Kinnear at short, but was backed up well.
Maddie Cameron returned to full-time softball this year, and what a season she put together. 29 runs batted in. She's got one on base here. And she swings at the first pitch. It's a slow roller over to second, and it's bobbled on the transition by Tate Nicholson, and it's 2 runners aboard for Sturt.
In the replay here, you watch it, it kind of fooled Jade. It looked like, you got Maddie Cameron swinging the bat. You're expecting that thing to come back hard at you, and she kind of got jammed, and it handcuffed Jade, allowing Bell to slide into 2. No play at first.
Well, Riley Moore's moved back to Sturt, where she's now the everyday first basewoman, has been a big one, and she's hitting .375 this year. I said it's amazing. That's a drop off of 100 points from someone ahead of her, but .375 would be the leader on Glenelg. Grounded to Peterson, and that ends the threat. So both teams sort of mirror each other in the way that first 2 batters go down, next 2 batters get on, but the side is retired eventually. We're 1 inning through, and yeah, I guess in final softball, sometimes you just want to get through that first inning unscathed a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. Both teams threatening there, and luckily both teams, their defensive abilities come through and stop that threat.
Now, Bill, you look at it here. Both teams are going to get a chance to show their 6, 7, 8, 9 batters coming up. And for me, this is where the game is going to be won. I mean, you've heard me say it on broadcast before, when 6, 7, or when 7, 8, 9 get it done, that's how games are won. But right, you really do feel it from 6 to 9 in both of these lineups. You look at Glenelg, Kinnear batting .174, Walkup 1 for 15 on the year. Gemma Cochran, it's her first game in a couple months, it feels like. So you don't really know what you're going to get, and it's the same with Sturt. Someone is going to have to get on base for their big boppers at the top of the lineup to get it done.
And I agree with you there, Eric, and I think when it's really going to matter is when those batters come up with runners on base. So in a case where they decide to pitch around somebody higher in the order that they're a little bit more worried about, and then they have to pitch to someone in that 7, 8, 9, and they actually come through with that base hit to score the run.
Either team going to have to make sure that bottom part of the lineup is fluid rather than a stunt in the lineup. Or in this case right now, if you can get a couple runners on base out of Kinnear, Nicholson, Walkup, and Cochran due up, well, then Sydney Horton comes up and she'll have guaranteed 2 runners on base.
Yeah, that's right. It'll be interesting to see how Cochran goes. She hasn't, haven't seen her bat for some time.
She could bat this inning. She is 4th in the pecking order right now. Kinnear. She's been very reliable this season. Glenelg seemed to have had a hero, different hero in every game they played, just a scrappy group that kept coming back in games. But one of the reasons they were able to stay in games is because defensively they had really shored up from years past. Sophie Kinnear, a big reason for it. In foul territory, Riley Moore had a peek at it. That goes foul. Other difference, Bill, in this game compared to a minor rounds game is that there's no time limit. This is a game of infinite time. Theoretically, we could just play it till tomorrow, but 7 innings is the cap, but normally it's a 90-minute time game. She stays with it, but it's Bell White again, and you'll see it on the CMAX replay. She's got a great arm, Bell White.
So what you mentioned about the 7-inning games, like some of the players like Bell White here at Sturt and Sarah Tonkin who have played nationals and will play that 7-inning game all the time, or every year at that time. There might not be a lot of players on the Glenelg team that have gone to that sort of event, and we'll see how that tests them today.
Yeah, it's been 7 years since Glenelg were in the finals, and they made a run all the way to the championship game.
It could be a story later on.
Tate Nicholson has been a feel-good story, a junior player who hit 300 this year in her 16 games played, the most she's played at the A-grade level.
Yeah, I remember Tate in the Dragons program a few years back. Good youngster, trying hard, working through. Obviously, it paid off. She's kept at it. She's in the starting lineup today.
Grounded back towards the pitcher, Zolly Adams. Oh, that ball almost sailed, but Riley Moore, that is the value of a very good first basewoman, and Riley Moore had to bring that down.
Little chopper there, and yes, the throw high. Riley did well, actually, to go up and come down on the bag. You get a first baseman that might stretch a little bit early, and they can't make that jump because they've already committed. She hung back and made a great play.
Sophie Walkup, 1 for 15 on the season. Again, another player that's being thrust into the spotlight. A few injuries to this Glenelg side. Nat Brinkworth has had to get creative in the last few weeks of the season with the roster that she's put together.
Yeah, just moving around, like as you said, bringing Horton into catch because Shepard was out. Kinnear at short, where initially Horton was at shortstop. They've been playing a game of chess, just moving pieces around, and it's working out for them. Here they are in the...
This is grounded up the middle. Ranging over is Tonkin. She makes the play. It's a 1-2-3 inning. So Zolly Adams, what are you liking about Zolly early on in this game?
Look, she's consistent. She's putting it in the zone. She's keeping the ball low. A lot of ground ball outs. I'm just looking back through here, but all of those were ground ball outs. And aside from the 2 walks before that, a ground ball out to start the game and 1 fly out to second base.
Sort of textbook Zolly Adams. I mean, this season, 41 1/3 innings. 68% of the pitches she's thrown this year have been strikes, which is amazing because she's only got 31 strikeouts in those 41 innings, which tells you she's a contact hitter. She's a smart pitcher, right? Like, she pitches where you don't want it in the zone. It's in the zone, but it's not in your sweet spot and induces some contact. And the game is about getting outs, and that's what she does well.
Absolutely. That's going to be the secret for her today. If she can continue to do that and not give up something, fat or a little bit up in the zone where these Glenelg hitters, they can get on it and hit it hard, she'll have good success. You got to trust those defensive gloves behind you.
And the defensive gloves for Glenelg have been mixing around. You alluded to it just before. Courtney Shepard playing third, Sophie Kinnear at short, Tate Nicholson at second. It's a much different infield than what you would have thought. I mean, Gemma Cochran's injury didn't help. Caitlin Carroll with a devastating injury that ended the season. And then even players at the beginning of the year like Megan Wheatley not available this year, who's been a huge part of the cultural change at Glenelg. That's a whole infield, and then Yo Grauer at first. This whole infield's a little bit different than what Nat Brinkworth has had in the past.
And I guess Cochran was their lock at third base, so I guess Courtney Shepard staying there, more fulfilling that hole than it is the not going behind the plate.
Well, you take a look at all the stars of the Premier League. Is Hannah Hutchison certainly a rising star? She was on the under-16s last year in the 2023 under-16 championships. And
yeah, for those watching Premier League, she's kind of come out of nowhere and has impressed. She's a very athletic-looking batter. She's made really good contact in the games I've seen. Lefty, able to pull the ball and spray it too.
12 for 28 this year. That's a 446 average since her call-up around Christmas, those 12 games that she's played. And she's just 16 years old, so you can see she's tall as well. She's got some power about her. You can see it there as she bashes one into foul territory. We talk about Courtney Shepard over at third, and so many of these Premier League stars we see in the CMAX Premier League have had the ability to move around the diamond. Sarah Tonkin, catcher, she's played third. Belle White, shortstop, third. And a strikeout from Jade Peterson. It's her first of the day for the strikeout queen at 107 on the season. One down.
Crafty pitcher, Jade. You don't know for sure. She's in, she's out, and that one outside edge, framed very nicely back there, gets the call.
Abby Weir hitting 293 in the lineup. Another young Sturt product. Sturt just seemed to churn out great junior players that either move on to that senior squad or move to another club and get some starting time on a Division I side. And now Jade Peterson grooving a little bit, rides one up inside. It's an 0-2 count.
Yeah, she's coming after this bottom half of the order, especially in this situation with nobody on. 2 out, or 1 out, sorry.
Softball factory, that is Sturt Falcons Softball Club. And a swing and a miss. Jade Peterson. 2 up, 2 down, both strikeouts to start this inning. Got a pitcher versus pitcher battle with Zolly Adams. There's a look at the CMAX replay. If you want to advance medical research and get paid for your time, log on to CMAX today. Well, 8-9 now up here with Zolly Adams. There's 19 at-bats this year. Is jammed over towards left field. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. Both teams really are mirroring each other. They had the first 2 outs of the game made by both teams, and then the next 2 batters got on. Runners on first and second, 2 out. The 5th batter retired, and then both teams getting a 1-2-3 inning here in the second. So it's monkey see, monkey do, I suppose, a little bit right now.
Yes, you see Zally there had a bit of cut of that. She does tend to make contact with the ball, but just a bit under that tough sun, but nice catch out there.
This is the first of 2 games that will be played today. This is the elimination one, though. The loser of this game, their season is over. Their winner will advance to Wednesday night's preliminary final, where they will play either West Torrens or Port Adelaide. West Torrens and Port Adelaide, they'll be playing tonight, about half an hour after this game, or at 7 p.m. if this game flies on by.
Looking forward to that matchup. That's going to be a very good game. Happy to watch and call the West Torrens game on Wednesday night. Their bats were on fire. They were hitting very well. Whereas we also know, the talent that Port Adelaide brings to the dish.
And I hope they go at each other because, like I said at the top of the broadcast, the team that's lost that game has gone on to lose the elimination final or the preliminary final every year since COVID. So it's no guarantee. And even at Open Women's, how many times have you seen the team that's lost in that 1-2 game then lose the game right after that? You pick up some momentum by winning this game.
It's a tough game to play because, you got another chance, but the loss affects you and can affect you emotionally and mentally. And then that carries over into the next game, and then suddenly you're playing not to lose instead of playing to win.
It's an interesting shift in mindset, and that can happen, especially when things happen fast. Whereas in this game, both these teams playing very much to win right now. They lose, their season goes over, and if you win, you have some momentum and positive energy about you. This grounded over to third. What a trap by Abby Weir. And Gemma Cochran's first at-bat. She's down 5-3, but a great defensive play.
You watch Abby Weir here just flash the glove out. Looks like it's heading through the hole there. Just a little scoop. Gets her feet underneath her and sets and throws a nice, easy throw right across to Riley Moore. Great play. And that was Gemma Cochran's first at-bat there in some time.
Sydney Horton. Well, good to see her get the ball in play. Build some confidence, knowing you can put the play in contact, and at least she forced the defense to make a nice play. Well, the Irish national team player in Sydney Horton. You sort of see her anxiously. You see her every time she's up to bat, grip that bat a little bit. Zolly Adams just worked that 1-2-3 inning. Some happy hands you can see.
Yeah, different batters use different things to kind of keep that relaxed grip. Sometimes you grip that bat too tight, you lose power, and I think that's been proven. So just some people, their fingers kind of playing along there like they're moving. She does look like she twirls the bat a little bit.
There's the twirl, the twitch, whatever you want to call it. It's been an effective twitch this year. Hitting .309 in her 19 games played. One of the imports that Glenelg brought over.
Yeah. Fell off a little bit, somewhere around the midway point. Christmas break, she was up over 400, I think, at one point. But it's a tough average to keep that going all the way through the season. But good contact hitter.
knocked to right field. So will it be a close play? Sydney Horton legs it out. Abby Kennedy tried to make it. I almost called it a hit straight off the bat. It was a little closer than that, but Sydney Horton with a postseason base knock.
Yeah, very good contact. Takes the ball the other way, and one hop, two hop to Kennedy out there. I think Horton had that beat all the way, but a nice play by Kennedy to come up and make that throw. I say she's probably well past the bag there.
Well past it, yeah. I mean, you look at Horton, too, from the first half to the second half. I mean, her role in the lineup had to change so many times based on which players were available. Her maybe batting 3 one day, lead off the next, 4 the other. She was consistently in the lineup, but when you lose players like Caitlin Carroll, who was hitting over 300, Courtney Shepard missed a few games, Gemma Cochran, your role changes. Bree McGee fouls one away.
That's 2 consecutive pitches they've had a hit and run on there. Horton has gone on both those pitches, and Bree has fouled them both off. So I like the strategy. If they can get that ball on the ground there, it's a good time to hit and run. But now it's kind of lost that that opportunity. Not to say she still might be going, but to run on Tonkin's arm.
Does aggression pick up from a coaching perspective in the final softball?
Sometimes you might. I mean, you sometimes you want to let your batters bat and not call too much, but every now and then you want to do something that maybe is unexpected and makes the defense.
Swing and a miss. Look at the off speed that Zolly Adams had that took Bree McGee literally out of her shoes. We'll see it on the CMAX replay.
It's just to finish that. You want to make the defense move and change a little bit and be unsettled, but that is a great changeup way out in front.
And is that maybe Sturt sensing some aggression here from Glenelg? You have a hit and run on. You can maybe throw that changeup knowing that you're a little antsy to hit. Get someone out front early.
Yeah, possibly, because if they did put it on again, well, the only downside on that is if she did run on that one, the changeup gives her a bit more of a jump to get to second base. So throwing her out would have been out of the question, but they got the strikeout.
Courtney Shepard, her second at bat, she walked in her first plate appearance, rather. Makes some contact with it, but fighting the sun. And we talked about this pregame, Bill Benedictson, that it is tricky, especially at second base and right field with where the sun is right now. And I think that's what happened with Rachel Tonkin here.
Yeah, look, the pop-up that she got earlier, she went to the other way and this wasn't looking directly in the sun. That one there carries her into it. And the ball probably crosses right through the sun there. You can see right away she's pulled out. And just quickly update, they've put Yo Grauer on here as we're talking to load the bases.
Yeah, they did not want a chance. Yo Grauer, who's hitting 400 with runners in scoring position. There are 2 outs on the board, but the bases are now loaded. It's a dangerous game to play, but Yo Grauer consistently the last few years, one of the most powerful and dangerous hitters, especially with scorer's position.
Yeah, this is they really want to think how they're going to do this here. Like 2 out, you can go after her, but Yo Grauer is a really good hitter to all areas of the ballpark. I mean, she can pull the ball, and she's hit doubles as you saw in the Open Women's back in 2022. All the way out to the dental school sign there. She also hit the ball on the right side out by the home run heroes sign and got that triple, that key triple late in the game against New South Wales.
So Zolly Adams, who has 68% strike rate this year, had a 4-pitch walk to Yo Grauer in her first plate appearance and the intentional base on balls in this game. And a first pitch swing. Glenelg will score the first run of the game. Sasha Penglace.
Well, Sasha Penglace is a good contact hitter, and there she comes up. First pitch swinging, and a clean single. 1 hops to left field. Well done to keep that in front and only let 1 run score on that. It got out there so quick.
Well, it's always a dangerous game. I mean, there was a runner on third because they loaded the bases. Had they not intentionally walked Grauer, well, we don't know what Grauer could have done. She could have flown out. She could have struck out. She could have drilled one over the fence and a 3-run homer. But what we do know is that the intentional walk put a runner on third, and Sasha Penglaze, who hit 189 all season, comes through with an RBI, the most consistent player in the lineup all year, 22 games, puts in the first run.
It was, look, some would say it's the right call. It's not pitched to Yo, but when they did it, it did move everybody up a base. It wasn't like they had a base open. So bold strategy. In this case, it didn't pay off. But who knows? Maybe just the one run. And like you said, if Grauer had hit a gap, could have been more than one.
And now there's 3 balls and no strikes on Sophie Kinnear and no bases to put her. This has to be a strike or it will be a run. And it's another run. And now you can probably say the intentional base on balls has backfired because 2 runs have scored, which is exactly how many were on base when Grauer came up.
Yeah, you're great there. And we also getting into that 7-8-9 order that we said earlier could be the difference in this game, and especially with runners on base. Will Tate Nicholson fire now with 2 out and bases loaded?
So there was a runner on first, and then it was soft contact. This has been a swing of 6 pitches, 5 pitches technically, Bill, where there was a runner on first and 2 outs, and then Courtney Shepard, it wasn't anything hit hard. Tonkin lost it in the sun a little bit, it dropped. Then an intentional base on balls, then a first pitch swing from Penglaze and 4 pitch walk to Kinnear.
Yeah.
And in a span of 6 pitches, they went from 2 outs, 1 on, to bases still loaded and 2 runs across the plate.
Well, you go back to that soft fly in the sun. That was the 3rd out if it's caught, and none of this happens.
6 pitches have changed this game, and now Glenelg, with their 8th batter up this inning, have a 2-0 lead in an elimination final. Tate Nicholson through the junior ranks into the senior squad, cemented a playing opportunity because of injury and cemented her spot in the lineup because of performance, hitting 300 in those 16 games. A great story. She's got bases loaded in the finals. And she goes fishing on a pitch upstairs. Zolly Adams leaves them loaded with that big strikeout, but Glenelg, they score first. They create something out of nothing, and it's 2-0 just like this.
Well, that's a good call, something out of nothing. You know, as we say, go back to that pop-up, and it's caught, and none of this happens, but Glenelg took the most of their opportunity there. They made sure they came through. Sasha Penglaze wasn't going to hang around, took that first pitch, and backed herself, drove it into left. And then the base on balls, obviously, that brought in the next run.
Well, this now changes things a little bit as we'll lead things off with Abby Kennedy for Sturt, and their big boppers are coming up to bat. It's probably the part of the lineup you do want. If you want to issue a response, have the power 4 that start this lineup in Tonkin, White, and Cameron. They are due up after Abby Kennedy, but Jay Peterson facing these batters for the 2nd time. There's also a question of how long do Glenelg decide to leave Jay Peterson in. You don't have Yo Grauer on this team to not pitch her in a finals game.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you're right. If anybody can bounce back, and you're looking at it on paper, it's the Sturt lineup coming here. Abby Kennedy from the left side, very quick and showing bunt there. You know, she gets a running bunt down and gets on, and then the fireworks could start after that.
Jade Peterson was the key recruit for Glenelg last season. Seacombe didn't have a team in the Premier League, and Jade Peterson made the move over when that happened, or 2 years ago, rather. This is her 3rd season with Glenelg, but she decided to stay with Glenelg. And that was probably the start of the turnaround for Glenelg, to have a pitcher that at least keeps you competitive in games. With a 3-0 count here to Abby Kennedy. And Peterson doesn't walk a lot of batters, but it'd be a dangerous game to give a free base to Kennedy before the power part of the lineup
Especially
comes.
after you've scored 2 runs and you get your 9 batter here. You want to go after. You don't want to walk this leadoff batter.
Glenelg hasn't played in a finals game in 7 years, and Jade Peterson, I don't think she's played in a Premier League finals game in potentially longer than that, because she was with Seacombe before.
It would be a fair way back.
It
I'm
might
not
be
sure.
almost a decade since Peterson's played in Premier League finals, but she has played huge games for South Australia in the Open Women's, but it's a walk to Kennedy. I think Jade Peterson pitching that preliminary final in the year that South Australia won
against
the Gilly
Victoria.
Shield. Yeah, massive performance from Jade Peterson in that game. So she's not like she's not experienced, but here we go.
Yeah.
Here's the change. So a leadoff walk. Abby Kennedy is on first, and second time through the lineup with Tonkin, White, and Cameron coming up. They're going to make the change to Yo Grauer. I think
they probably would have had a strategy of having maybe 3 innings, hopefully get 3 innings once through the lineup for Jade, and then go to Yo.
Well, this is the question I have, though, because were they going to make this change regardless?
I would think if they got through that inning, they might have. And they could, at the top of the order, they may have.
But if she didn't walk Abby Kennedy, would they make this pitching change?
It's a good call. Whether they go one more batter against Tonkin or if they've already dead set said when we get once through, we're going to change. That might have been the plan.
Because if you were going to make a change anyways, it would make sense just to go Grauer now, knowing the lineup is coming up, and you start the inning with Yo, rather than bringing her in with a runner on first. That said, maybe the plan was, hey, if there's a sign of trouble, we're taking you out of the game and bringing Yo in there, and maybe Yo would be, or maybe Peterson would be pitching right now to Sarah Tonkin.
Right. The real key is whether or not they got Yo some warm-up pitches somewhere in between when she was off in the offensive half, because her to come in now and just throw. I mean, I know she threw pregame, but to come in and just throw those 5, it's hard to get themselves in the right frame of mind.
Well, she'll start with a runner on first, and it's a ground ball right to her. So Yo Grauer in the game, but Sarah Tonkin, who hits .470 on the season with a .545 on base percentage, had one simple job: lay down the bunt, and she's done that well.
It's very good. That's championship ball that they've taken their lead off and just said, let's get this done. Let's play for 1 run at least here, and let's bring up, Rachel Tonkin and then Belle White and Maddie Cameron if we can get to that. But 1 out. Runner in scoring position.
Tonkin hitting .386. That ball slips away. Runner will stay at second. Tonkin hitting .386. Belle White hitting .541. The key here is if Tonkin gets on, Sturt are going to have 2 cracks at it with the 2 most powerful bats in the competition.
Great job by Horton to keep that ball in front and towards the third base side, stopping Kennedy from taking that base.
And it's a ball from Yo Grauer. 2-0 count. Grauer with an ERA around that 1.5 mark this season. Only here for 10 games this year. That bunt popped straight up in the air.
Probably bunted ball 3 there. That was quite up. And if there's been one thing and one weakness that occasionally when Grauer starts a game, sometimes her control is not quite dialed in. To come from first and have those 5 pitches, not quite honed. Once she gets rolling, she's very tough to hit after that.
Well, she's rolled her way back to a 2-2 count. That leadoff walk, though, to the 9-hitter, Abby Kennedy, looming large right now. Belle White on deck. And it's cracked to left field. Played by Penglaze over at left. And Belle White is going to have 2 runners on.
Wow, that was a solid piece of the ball there. The crack, and you can see it's a missile. And fortunately, right at Penglaze, who is playing in shallow, either side of her, and that ball goes to the fence. That might be the hardest hit ball I've ever seen Rachel Tonkin hit. Bit of a conference now. They're just trying to resettle. Think about what they want to do on the 3-1 split here. Got 2 fairly fast runners, 1 on first, 1 on third. Opportunity to let them steal and see what happens in the rundown. Defensively, do you play for your out? Let that 1-run score? I'd say they probably won't. They'll probably have second base come in and cut it. Then again, Belle, good contact hitter, can also put the ball in play, also bunt for the team. And as I said on Wednesday night, and they didn't do it, a squeeze right now would be a perfect
There's so much strategy at play because Glenelg, too,
Showing bunt.
would have to consider at some point walking one of the next 2 batters, depending on the situation as well. That card is somewhere in your mind. Either way, it's a 1-0 count to the most dangerous hitter and possible Kath Coral medalist tomorrow night.
Just looking at the outfield, they're reasonable depth here, but they're creeping in. And there goes Tonkin down to 2.
Yeah, you knew that was coming.
Steal. But the outfield here, you got to be careful that they don't creep in and Bell takes one deep and puts it off the fence or over the fence. But they'll be trying to defend this run.
South Australia's Olympian. She cracks one to left field. 1 run will score, and it gets by Penglaze. 2 runs have scored. Bell White has tied it up. Response issued.
Yep, that's a quality at bat there. She jumps on this pitch, hits it right through that left side hole. Both runners running fast. That bobble by Penglaze, charging hard. Again, careful not to overrun that ball, and it gets away. Probably wouldn't have scored that second run if not for that.
Maddie Cameron had
play.
29 runs batted in this year while hitting .446.
And more importantly, too, that bobble allows Bell to go to 2, and now she's in scoring position as well.
With Cameron and Moore due up. 2 very good hitters. That ball is in the dirt, and that's going to bring Bell White all the way to 3rd, and now a fly ball from Maddie Cameron, who normally goes early in counts, has taken a couple pitches.
Yeah, Maddie Cameron is a notorious first pitch hitter, and, well, pitchers know that a bit. They're pitching a little careful here. 2-0, 1-1 count, sorry, 1-1.
Maddie Cameron charges one to center field. It is over the head of McGee. 1 run is scored. Maddie Cameron with a stand-up double, and Sturt hit the front.
Well, I think we kind of predicted, or we said that on paper they look like the lineup that could come back and hit and do this, and they have put it into practicality. Maddie Cameron in the situation she loves, where you got a runner in scoring position, 2-0, she can have a hack, and she gets most of that one. And Bell White trots home.
Well, it all sort of started with that leadoff walk to Abby Kennedy, who's just hitting .171 this year. She gets on base. It changes the complexion because Rachel Tonkin's hit at 2 was massive over to left field, and it allowed what was a worst-case scenario for Glenelg after you scored is they would have said, as long as we don't have a couple runners on for Bell White and Maddie Cameron, we're going to be good. Well, they had a couple runners on, and they combined to drive in 3 runs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Textbook if you draw it up for Sturt. If you're a coach in the dugout for Sturt, you say, all right, here's what's going to happen, Abby. You're going to get on base.
Yep.
Then I just need one of the Tonkins to get a hit, and we're going to be sweet.
If you go back and look the other way, now, mind you, they pitched to Bell White when they had runners on second and third. You could put Bell White on in that situation and go to Maddie, but...
Up against the wall, Horton makes a big play to retire Riley Moore and take another dangerous batter out of equation.
You watch in the replay, she kind of twirls around a little bit and does well, a little bit overrun, but stays with it. And has good hands here. Has circled around a bit, but it comes back a little on her. And just enough on the stretch to hold on to that.
Hannah Hutchinson.
Second out.
Under 16s last year. Premier League brought to you by CMAX. Finals this year. Struck out her first time up bat. That was against Jade Peterson. This is against Yo Grauer.
Hey, she struck out after a solid foul ball down the first base line just before that. Got a nice swing. If you change the 1 to a 7, it reminds me a bit of Pippa Atkins, who used to play for Sturt and also on the Oakland women's team.
Tasmania's finest.
That's right. Yes.
Hannah Hutchinson, 446 on the year. Since Yo Grauer's come in, she allowed 3 hits, but she gets a strikeout to end the inning. That's her first. But White and Cameron smash a couple of doubles. They score 3. They entered the inning down 2-0. They leave it up 3-2.
Yeah, rise ball there. Nice pitch from Yo. No chance for Hannah.
It's a tough situation for Grauer to be put into. Top of the lineup, runner on first base. a pitcher who historically has to earn her way in the game a little bit. That was a tough situation, and she got hit.
Yeah, she did. It was almost like just a little bit of a perfect storm there, and a good storm for Sturt in that case. Like they had their hitters working and jumped on those pitches. They swung at good pitches.
Well, now you want to see the makeup of this Glenelg team that doesn't have a lot of finals experience. They had the 2-0 lead. They saw how quickly that can disappear. Now they've got to keep themselves competitive and wait for their next opportunity, because there will be one.
Oh, there will be. And if anything, Glenelg has been the battle back team this year. And in all the games I see, they look like they're down and out, and they've come back, and they keep putting bat on ball. We see how quickly it could change with the little pop-up and the sun comes into play, or you get a bad hop here or there, but they get the ball in play. And as we said before, Zali is not overpowering. There'll be opportunity for him.
An eventful first few innings and a first pitch swing from Sophie Walkup, and Maddie Cameron not going to have any issues with that one down.
Good catch here, but Maddie, she not playing too deep. Made that one quite routine. See, it only takes her about 5 steps and she's there quite easily.
Gemma Cochran up to bat right now in her dramatic return back to the finals. She's now playing first base.
Put the ball in play last time, but just a soft tapper.
Can she get on base for that Glenelg top of the lineup? Fishes that one maybe slightly out of the zone. It's an awkward spot again, and coming all the way to the edge of the infield, Maddie Cameron makes the play. We'll take a look at it in the CMAX replay.
Did well. Again, Maddie Cameron plays quite shallow. Rachel Talkin starts for this one. You can see very quickly goes, I don't think I got this one, but Maddie calls her off. Difference there, Maddie coming from second base side towards first, whereas Rachel going the other way, and that's where she had trouble in that other fly ball.
Sydney Horton, 1 for 2 in the game so far. She singled and scored in her last at-bat in the third.
Can we get another fly ball to Maddie Cameron for a clean sweep?
A Maddie Cameron inning.
Yep.
Zolly Adams has pitched well. Pitch to contact. She does have 3 strikeouts. Horton grounded right back to the pitcher. It's bobbled slightly by Adams, and by the time she had scooped it up, there's a runner aboard.
Unfortunate here. She as she grabbed it in one hand, didn't have the second hand there, and it just got away from her, and then panic sits in a little bit on that. And Horton is fast, so one bobble is all it takes there on that one.
Bree McGee. That ball slips away. It'll be an easy chug down the line for Sydney Horton, and now they got a runner in scoring position.
Just going to say what looked like a very easy inning, 2 out just like that, and a tapper back to the pitcher with a small error and a wild pitch. Suddenly you've got your tying run in scoring position.
Bree McGee 5 for 18. Jammed a little bit in foul territory. It's got enough get up and go to get out of here.
And from what I've seen of Bree McGee, she'll make contact. She'll put the ball in play. She's not overpowering. Like I said, called up or brought back into the side because of injury, and she's battled very well for them through the second half of the season. But she'll look to put the ball in play.
Can they give a chance to Shepard and Grauer in the middle of the lineup? Base hit up the middle. It gets by Belle White. It's a 1-3 split. And Courtney Shepard, the leading batter this season for Glenelg, will have a chance to tie the game.
Well, there you go. Just didn't try to do too much. Hit up the middle. Diving play by Belle. Just missed it. Maddie Cameron was going to throw that out at home all the way had they sent her. And luckily, it didn't get away. Actually, Sarah Tonkin did a great job to block that and keep it in play. That ball skips away, run scores, and another runner moves up.
In the bottom of the third, it was the 3-4 batters for Sturt which drove in 3 runs. Now the 3-4 batters have a chance to do the same for Glenelg. Courtney Shepard will have the first crack at it. Yo Grauer will follow, who hasn't seen a strike today, Yo Grauer. This is a huge at-bat for Zolly Adams right now.
Most definitely. They want to have to go after Courtney here, but being careful that Courtney can hurt you here. She can hit the ball.
First pitch swing right to the sure-handed White. Whoa, he was almost in the dirt. That's a big play from Riley Moore at first to make sure she can handle that. That's not as easy as it looks. Here's the CMAX replay.
Lickfeld gets this on 2 hops and throws a bullet, but yes, a little low. Got to turn the glove down and did well to stay behind it. That ball like that, thrown that hard, gets you in the palm of the hand and pops out.
Is that trusting your first basewoman too? Just saying, I'm going to throw it as hard as I can in your range, and you have to make sure you get it.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. I mean, Bell's got to have the faith over there, Riley, and Riley's got to know that Bell's going to unleash a cannon there. She's not going to hold back and try and, shot put it to you. So, yeah, that's trusting your defense right there.
Well, you can see also those Sturt players on defense all wearing the green ribbon on their jerseys right now. It's for a teammate going through a cancer battle right now. Tash Straps.
Oh, correct. Okay.
So our thoughts with Tash is, I know that she'd be here and in the lineup if she was healthy and able. So our best to Tash Straps. I'm sure she's tuning in as well. You can see all the players wear it out there. There's the ribbons. And Abby Weir will lead things off 7-8-9. It was, hey, that's what I always say, 7-8-9, get it done. That's how games are won. Well, it was 9 that got it started in that last inning. And they scored some runs.
Yep, Abby Kennedy's leadoff walk.
Weir, Adams, and Kennedy. Can Grauer try to make this a simple 7-8-9 and keep Glenelg within 1 run going into the final 3 innings?
Weir batting just around that 300 mark, just underneath. Good hack at that one. Good pitch to swing at.
Have to limit base runners for that powerful top 4 on Sturt. That's bunted right back to Grauer. Almost barehanded it, but I think she just guided it into her glove.
Just not a bad little sneaky move here. Just quickly squares, and it's a rise ball. A little lifter going up like that. That's the toughest one to bunt. It just keeps creeping up on you. Couldn't quite get on top of it.
Zolly Adams. Grauer working her way through the first time through the lineup, trying to limit the at-bats. Have to be efficient in the bottom part of the lineup to limit the opportunities for the top part.
Wild swing at that one down low in the dirt.
0-2 count. An entertaining game here in the CMAX Premier League. Glenelg scored the first 2 in the top of the 3rd. Sturt responded with 3. And a 3-pitch strikeout from Yo Grauer, who's keeping things simple now. That's her 2nd strikeout.
Yeah, she's starting to roll, throwing gas here. That one just in the top end of the zone. Can't lay off it. And Zally swings under it.
And yeah, Yo Grauer finding her groove now here, finding the strike zone, mixing up paces.
Yeah, I don't know if Grauer's conscious of it or not, but I know
It's down the line, it stays fair. It was an ambitious play to pick that one up if you're Courtney Shepard. I don't know if it was going to go foul or not.
Yeah, from our view down here, looking down the third base line, Eric, you're probably on it more than me. It looks like it's going to roll foul.
I thought so too. Here's a look at the CMAX replay. And I think that was.
I think it was too.
There was a lot of room.
Especially with really, really, really speedy wheels here, Abby Kennedy. You almost at that point got to hope. If you're not playing up, you got to hope that's going foul and let her have that. She's stealing.
And Kennedy's going quick again. That slips by, and pressure on the base paths, and because of that, all of a sudden, it is a runner in scoring position for Sarah Tonkin, who had to lay down a bunt earlier, and now she's going to get free rein to swing.
Yeah, you can see here umpire Nikki Wong signaling obstruction because she never ever had that ball, and Abby Kennedy slid into her. Bit of a check swing there by Tonkin. I don't think anybody appealed. Or did, what's it called? 1-1, okay.
Tonkin to third. Picked up from Shepard across the diamond, and another nice play at first base. That's a tricky one. Gemma Cochran back in the field, trying to get that softball feel. Had to make that play, and she did.
Yeah, that's a nice play. Bounce right back with that ground ball. She comes up, sets her feet, throws a little low, but well done. Both hands on that one, showing it.
Well, we're about to hit the hour mark. We're 4 innings through, so here's your CMAX game reset. Glenelg, the away team, number 4 seed, playing number 3 seed, Sturt. The loser goes home winner to the preliminary final. Well, it was Glenelg that struck first after both teams mirrored each other in the first 2 innings. There was a 1-2-3 inning in the mix. There was a couple base runners on first and second. And in the third, Glenelg struck. They had something out of nothing. A misplay over at second allowed Courtney Shepard to reach. Yo Grauer was intentionally walked with 2 outs to load the bases, and then Sasha Penglaze and Sophie Kinnear made Sturt pay by going back-to-back singles, or one single, and 1 4-pitch walk to put Glenelg up 2-0. Leadoff walk to Abby Kennedy prompted a pitching change to Yo Grauer, and then Rachel Tonkin, Belle White, Maddie Cameron all had hits in succession off Yo Grauer. That scored 3 runs. It made it a 3-2 game. Grauer clean in that last inning. Also, so was Zolly Adams, but now there's a pitching change for Sturt.
Yeah, we got Ollie Durham coming in now to pitch, and we did know she was probably going to come in at some point in this game. Facing their leadoff batter in Yo Grauer. It's be a good matchup here first up. Ollie Durham was pitching, started the B-grade game earlier today out on Diamond 2, and that game went about 2.5 hours plus into extra innings. They had to actually come and get Ollie Durham from that game and bring her over here to get ready for this
drag
one.
her over here.
Literally dragged her, yes. I saw Coach Justina Adams actually walk over there, and very shortly Ollie Durham came over afterwards.
Well, you knew Ollie Durham would be a big part of Sturt's plans when opening game of the season, there was Ollie Durham pitching. They had been using 3 pitchers at one time, and Ruby Fidge, Ollie Durham, and Zolly Adams. And Ollie Durham, a young rising star. This is the biggest softball action she's seen in the CMAX Premier League now.
Some good words there from Belle White, in your ear, just saying, have fun, you can do this. It's good to have an Olympian right there in your ear telling you, hey, we're behind you, we can do this.
You talk to the Sturt players, and they love Ollie Durham and what she can bring here, and they think that she's got a bright future.
Well, she's one of the leading candidates for Rookie of the Year this year. It's going to be a close battle. I think it's going to be between her and Abby Bashing at Hills, shortstop, a former Sturt player. As you're talking about the Sturt softball factory here, churning out great players after great players.
I'll get you some numbers on her in just a second.
She's just fallen 2-0 here to Yo Grauer. Dangerous situation.
Well, she pitched in 12 games this season. Started 7 of them, finished a couple of them. But 40 innings pitched this season.
She's been the workhorse, eh?
428 strikes, 299 balls. So it's 70% of her pitches this year have been strikes. And a 2.25 ERA this season.
That last pitch just a little off the plate there, trying to tempt Grauer. Now she's fallen 3-1 behind. Grauer in a really good hitting situation. But reaches for that one, surprisingly.
Probably would have been ball 4.
It could have been. I didn't think they were going to come after and for Yo to swing at that one.
Late swing, too. I wonder what it looks like. It might be a bit deceptive on that pitch, tailing a little bit out.
It could be. So she's worked her way back to full.
It's a free base, so Yo Grauer, 3 times she's come to the plate, 3 times she's reached, twice by walks, once from an intentional walk. So Grauer is, well, she's not batting anything in the finals, but she's got an on-base percentage of 1,000.
Well, it shows Sturt, you know, the coaching staff got a game plan in plan there, and they're not going to let Yo hurt them if they can help it.
Don't let their big bat hurt you, and use your big bats to hurt them, and that's exactly what's happened so far.
Although, again, they took it to the extreme when they put her on and moved runners over, and that came back to bite them a little bit for 2 runs.
Well, it did. It was collateral damage. If you're just joining us, it was 2 outs, runners on first and second in the third. Yo Grauer coming up to bat, and Sturt decided to intentionally walk Grauer with 2 runners on. On the first pitch, Penglaze deposited 1 to left field, and then a 4-pitch walk to Sophie Kinnear, and both those base runners scored. And now Penglaze hustling down the line. Tonkin makes the play at first, but job done from Sasha Penglaze to put the tying run in scoring position.
Hey, look, this is a fantastic sac bunt. Puts it down, makes first base field it, or the pitcher, and all they can do is play over there. The one, very good technique. Very quiet, kept her bat up high in the zone. And
Bill,
they'd be happy they can get that done.
Bill, earlier in the game, you said you're going to need to see the bottom half of the Glenelg lineup come up with a base hit when there's a runner in scoring position. Well, there's a runner in scoring position, and here comes the bottom half of the Glenelg lineup. A combined 0 for 7 so far in the game with a walk.
This time through, though, they're facing a new pitcher. And Ollie Durham very, very consistent. And that one just a little bit up. Sarah Tonkin a little walk out there just to try and settle her a bit. But yes, this is a key situation here.
Gets that pitch low, called for a strike. So Sophie Kinnear does have an RBI to her name in this game after leaving the bat on the shoulder with bases loaded to bring home a run to make it 2-0 at the time for Glenelg. And every time, Ollie Durham coming back to get herself in a competitive at-bat.
Must be nibbling that outside edge, but these batters don't want to swing at it, even though they're in a better hitting situation. You really got to get this ball in play here. Can't afford to go down looking.
I wonder what that speed looks like deceptively, because again, you saw Grauer in that at-bat previously. Kinnear again waiting. Don't know if it's a ball or strike. Knock it foul.
Knock it foul, yeah. That last pitch looked like a bit of a changeup from Durham. A little bit off speed. Should come back with the gas here. Just low, just missed. And very nerving there for everyone, the Glenelg team, whether or not that was going to be called or not. Laid off, pushes it to full count.
Swing and a miss, a huge strikeout from Olivia Durham, who was working her low and then goes with something up, and Sophie Kinnear swings through it.
Yeah, a little bit of a smile to her face after getting that one, but you're right. Down in the dirt, and then just up. And she swung under, and they got 2 out now. Still got to run in scoring position, but the threat doesn't seem as bad with 2 out.
A battle between 2 of South Australia's junior stars. Junior stars turned senior players playing in a final. Ollie Durham versus Tate Nicholson. Both have broke onto the scene this year in the CMAX Premier League. Tate Nicholson, is she eligible for Rookie of the Year this year too? She might be in conversation.
She might be. I'm not sure. Now, here's a hitter situation. You know, if Tate really backs herself and has a good hack at this one, or does she take?
Well, she backed herself, and she didn't make too bad contact on that. Right back towards us here.
Fouled it off my head.
It was a good hack, though.
It was a good hack, and I like that. And the fact that she recognizes a 2-0 count, good hitters count. The pitcher was there to hit, just a little behind. Shows she's ready to bat.
Pitch upstairs again, evens the count up at 2s. Durham walked the leadoff batter. Trying to go down in order since then. That ball well in the dirt. Tonkin fighting it. She can't wager a throw, and now a base hit will tie this ball game.
Yeah, temporary runner there, Sasha Penglaze, fairly quick. Had a little look and waited, made sure that ball got away before she took off to third. You don't want to get yourself thrown out running to 3 when you're already in scoring position at 2 with 2 out.
Tate Nicholson rolled over to first. Sure-handed Riley Moore makes the play, and Ollie Durham walks the first batter and then gets Glenelg down 1-2-3, and a strikeout mixed in them there as well. And Ollie Durham holds her nerve and keeps it a 1-run game.
Well, you look at the first batter she walked there in Yo Grauer, like you said, that's the danger. And then she took her chances with, well, the 5-6, but then into the 7-8-9.
Well, when Glenelg bats next, it'll be the 6th inning, and they are going to have to push the go button. And I say that because there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 batters between them and Yo Grauer next. So Yo's going to have 1 more at-bat guaranteed. It's just, are there going to be runners in scoring position?
Well, that's a good point. And you've hit the nail on the head. It's going to come down to their 8-9. Can they get it back to the 1-2-3 and get Yo Grauer back up?
Although this part of the game may decide how this game is won as well. It is the 2-3-4 part of the lineup for Sturt. Last time they were up, Tonkin single and advanced the runners, forced a 1-3 split. Bell White, double, cashed in 2. Maddie Cameron, double, scored what is currently the go-ahead run.
Yep, second time they've seen Grauer, but as I pointed out, I believe she's pitching herself into form. Didn't help me out with that pitch, though, Joe. You basically bounced that one. But I think she's actually pitched herself into form here, and it's going to be tougher to get hits off her now. And just a bit of a stoppage here because that one hit Horton. We get a replay here. It bounced and got her.
We'll get the CMAX replay. You walk us through that, Bill, and I'll walk us through the action.
Yeah.
Pitch on the upstairs was
got
her
on the ups, the catching shoulder, and probably just missed the padding. So she probably took one right up there in the delts. It's probably hurting a bit. Got a bit of dead arm happening, but she's still able to squeeze that glove.
Opportunity, part of the lineup for Sturt to try to provide a bit of a getaway inning here in the elimination final. Knocked over to second, and that is well trapped by the youngster. Tate Nicholson makes the play, takes a base runner away for Bell White.
Yeah, that's a hot shot. It's hit very well by Tonkin, and a couple of bounces, but Tate stays down, finds the ball, and then just a nice routine throw across after that.
Bell White's 2 for 2, a single and a double with a pair of RBIs. The Olympian has come up money today. Sure-handed, 3 plays in the field she's made as well. Now it's an interesting point of the sunlight too, Bill. You take a look across the field. You've got a shadow over the plate and a few feet within the field of play, and it is booming light here on beautiful Ghana land and Adelaide around the pitcher's circle.
Yeah, you can see Tate Nicholson if they get a chance. She's shading her eyes. She wears a face mask so it doesn't have that visor that the rest do. And that makes it tough. It doesn't allow you to get in a good position to start. Any little sort of half fly balls, the high ones should be handled. It gets above the sun, but these little half liners might be trouble for the fielders.
Crack to left side, and Bell White is 3 for 3 in a final. And that ball slips away as well, and Bell is going to be able to advance to 2.
So Bell, one of the best base runners. First of all, she's not worried about any sun here. She just crushes this ball past the left side, diving Courtney Shepard. But that throw back into 2, short hops and skips away. Bell takes the aggressive turn here, and the moment this ball gets away, she's off.
Now it's a runner in scoring position, and Maddie Cameron, is she going to be intentionally walked or not? They won't.
Yeah, I thought for a moment they were there, but nope.
29 run batted in this season for Maddie Cameron. 446 average, and she struck out once all season long.
First pitch ball there, and last time Cameron was up with a 2-0 count, she delivered. So you don't want to fall behind unless you're trying to put her on. Ball in the dirt there, wild swing.
Her RBI double in the third inning is, as it stands, the winning run. Perhaps a few more twists to go over the final 2.5 innings. 2-1 count.
Grau working down and then back up with that rise ball, trying to get her to chase. So I'm just feeling the wind pick up a bit here, and wondering where. I think it's blowing across, but whether she hits the ball up in the air, it's not going to carry as well as it should.
3-1 count. Now they're going to try to get Bellwhite at third. She got her! What a throw!
Wow.
Horton to Shepard, and the Olympian is down.
Wow, fantastic throw.
Bellwhite not going anywhere,
No.
though. She's asking the umpires to talk about it.
Adams is asking the question whether he has a better view or not. I think from my view, looking down the line here, the throw had to be perfect, and it is right at the bag. The only question is, it past the bag and Bell slides in front, or did she slide into that?
Tough to tell on those replays.
And, you know, that's going to be tough to overrule.
She's out. That's the ruling. This is a slow-mo look on the CMAX replay. This is bang, bang. We couldn't differentiate this in real time. The umpires don't have this, by the way.
And really, the throw is right there.
Did she get her on the toe as she slid in?
And the only question and why Bell's asking is, if she slid in front, never got tagged, but from that Nikki Wong basically at third base, she sees that ball caught and the slide comes second, she's got to call out. That's a bang, bang play. And
now, Maddie Cameron, it's a lot easier if she's just on base now. Take the bat out of her hand. It's a walk for Cameron. But that right now, the defensive play of the game, Horton to Shepard. It was a great throw.
Well, that could definitely swing things there, because Sturt is threatening looking to attack on another run.
Here's a look again. Again, it's kind of blocked by Grauer in that shot. I mean, Bellwhite, I think, has a good case here, as this is sent to center field, cut off by the center fielder, and that play has just saved a run.
Yep. Bellwhite definitely scores on that one, whether she stayed at second or is safe at 3.
Might have saved 2 runs.
And Riley Moore, good piece of hitting, but Maddie Cameron just taken off to go first to third there. 2 out, had a good jump on it.
I mean, let's jump to a land where Bellwhite is safe and then Maddie Cameron walks. You would assume that they would probably try to steal second. There's probably not a throw to second with Bell at third. You probably have runners on second and third. Riley Moore just hits it up the middle. Scores 1 for sure, maybe 2. That play looming large right now.
Oh, absolutely. Look, I go back to that play in Courtney Shepard. When she made that catch and tag, she pulled that glove up right away. Didn't hold the tag in there, sold it very well, whether she got it or not. I got to give credit to her. Took a great throw from Horton.
And a great take from Courtney Shepard.
Yeah, a great take, and made it look good.
Well, last year, Glenelg defense, they were allowing a lot of runs. In the finals this year, they've just prevented a couple runs and kept them in with a shot as Hannah Hutchison swings through that pitch.
Yeah, Hannah's struck out twice so far. Good swings, but hasn't found the ball yet with the bat. Can this be the time?
All runs scored in the third inning. And in between, a whole bunch of great defensive plays. Hutchison, 16s last year. Grounded over towards second, and Nicholson. She's had to make 2 nice plays this inning. She comes through both times, but the standout, Horton to Shepard to get Bell White out to save 1, maybe 2 runs, and keep Glenelg within a swing of this game.
Oh, that's looming large. That is a big play. And again, that's a play where Bell, 99% of the time makes that, and she probably still feels she's safe there. As we watch Tate stay low on the ball and just make a nice little routine play. A little worried about that underhand feed. Those ones tend to go over first base sometimes. But again, Bell made up her mind, took off, and Horton made a fantastic throw. Like from our view, if we had a camera at our view looking down there, we're looking right at the base, and that ball hovered right in there, probably just off the ground, right at tag height.
And just even the respect from the umpires giving that to Bell White to talk about it, where she slides in, says she's safe, and then they call her out, and Bell says, "Nope, you're going to talk about this." Just
Well, on a play like that, you got to ask that question. But again, if they were arguing that Bell was sliding in front of the tag, the home plate umpire, Damian McCauley, no way he can see that.
I mean, if this, okay, let's say we existed in a world where you could have replay review here. There's no way you can overturn that based on the evidence that we've seen too, right? You'd go with umpire's call.
Correct. You need a camera on the third base coaching box side, which Space Quake has had a 4-camera system occasionally. And that view down, actually that view there gave us the classic replay of Yo Grauer's triple in the Open Women's, where she slid under the tag where everybody else thought she was out except for me and Yo Grauer.
And it was the right call. Walk up, swings through the first pitch. But the point is if they said, all right, we're going, showing the box, we're going to go take a replay review of this, that wouldn't get turned over. You'd say, yeah, umpire's call.
That's right.
Tough game to umpire down there. That was a good call from the umpire in a huge situation as well.
Yes, good change of speed by Ollie Durham that second pitch. She threw the first one quite quick. We don't have James's radar gun that we were using on Wednesday night and all through the Open Men's. But that was a good change of speed, had her out in front.
Check swing, a dribbler down the line. That one goes foul. Olivia Durham has had to pitch some big innings this year in her rookie season. Four days ago, was named to a national squad. Is this over towards Bell White? Hauser zipping out the hand and gunning her down.
Great play again here. Ball that when it lands could give her trouble, and I think it did kind of kick. It's not hit well, and it kind of skims, but she gets the glove down and then throws that cannon that she's thrown, about 4 over there today, right? That was a strike.
So there you go, Bill. On Tuesday this week, Olivia Durham, as this grounded to third, it's picked up, called foul.
Just foul.
But Olivia Durham was named to the 2024 Australian Under-16 squad.
Yes, yeah, great. And she's also, I think, on the Under-18s or Under-19 squad. I don't know the cutoff number on that. Yeah, very good.
But that is, if you have a pitcher that's on the Under-16 squad pitching in a senior game, they have a 15-year-old in the circle right now in an elimination game.
It's amazing.
Drilled to center field. Maddie Cameron moves back 2 down. No, and she's earned her place there. A 2.5 ERA this season for Olivia Durham. She's now retired 5 in a row in this game, and that is the amount of trust that Justina Adams and this Sturt softball club have in their high school age pitcher on the mound right now.
Right. Actually, just going back through, as you said, that leadoff walk to Grauer, and that could be by design. After that, it's a 1-2-3, 1-2. And we're back to the top of the order here with Sydney Horton.
Yeah, that bottom of the Glenelg lineup, 0 for 8 with a walk. Now, there is an RBI credited to Sophie Kinnear as well, but if this game's going to extend, top of the lineup now has to come through. Horton up to bat right now. As she goes down, it'll be the 2-3-4 in the 7th and final inning. These are not timed games. If we were on a regular minor round game, there's no new innings after 85 minutes. We'd be saying this is the last crack for Glenelg, but we'll have another one in the 7th.
I have to say, I haven't looked at the clock once until you just mentioned that, because this game is so riveting. I mean, it is a good battle, which is what we called. I thought for sure that we were going to have a really close game. It could go either way, and it still can.
Scoring has come in just the 3rd inning. Glenelg scored 2 runs. There's been some big coaches' decisions. There's been pitching changes. There's been stars being stars. There's been unsung heroes, big defensive plays. For Glenelg, it was Sasha Penglaze opening the scoring and Sophie Kinnear with the walk, and then the connection between Horton and Shepard defensively. For Sturt right now, that woman, Ollie Durham, a big storyline. It's a walk, though, and you probably wouldn't pick Ollie Durham at the beginning of the season and say Sturt season on the line. They have her on the circle. She deserves to be there, but I'm saying it's an amazing storyline.
It is an amazing story, yeah.
And now Bree McGee with a runner on.
Bree McGee had that single up the middle last time. She passed diving Bell White to out to center field. Again, she's a good contact hitter.
This has been kind of textbook Durham, though. She starts her at-bats low each time and has been working her way up the zone.
Just missing those calls, just not quite painting the edge where she wants it or where the umpire wants it.
McGee swings that one up.
It's good to see the work on the scoreboard out there. I don't know if you noticed. I don't know if our cameras have picked that up, but KT was out there rigging up the light system, and they've got numbers and stuff to put up because the electronic scoreboard hasn't worked out there. And oh, there we go. Fantastic job.
It's our own Fenway Park.
Yep. Manually operated.
Thanks, KT.
When I was a kid, we used to line up to operate or put the numbers up on the scorecard. So, have something like that and have an opportunity. Maybe they got to make it a little bit safer for, at the moment, they're just climbing up ladders. They can't really have the kids on it, can they? I would love to operate the scoreboard out there.
Well,
and low again.
From 2 outs and nobody on, 2 straight walks, and Courtney Shepard. She hit .348 this season. She's going to have an opportunity to have a swing to tie this game.
More importantly, she has that runner now moved up into scoring position. With 2 out, that runner at 2 can take off. They don't have to wait and see if it's caught. Anything that makes it to the outfield, aside from maybe right at Maddie Cameron, who has a cannon, good chance of scoring that run.
Well, these are the fine lines of softball that you love right now for Glenelg. You have your 3-4 batters up with runners on first and second. If Courtney Shepard delivers a base hit here, well, then Yo Grauer comes up and Glenelg could go in front late and advance to a preliminary final. However, if Courtney Shepard goes down here, well, then you get to start the inning with Yo Grauer and nobody on base, which is perfect for Sturt.
Yes.
So it's either dream or nightmare scenario depending on this at-bat right here.
That's you've nailed it right there, because if Yo starts the next inning, they could do what they did last time. They could walk her for her 4th straight walk of the game. So it all comes down to Shepard here right now to keep it going. Looks like a good pitch to swing it, but just a little bit outside, for Courtney. She flinched at it, but didn't offer.
Very favorable count here for Ollie Durham, the under 16 star trying to get out of a jam. It's in the dirt.
Going to say that Tonkin and obviously Sturt's ideal is to keep that ball down and stop them from hitting something up in the air. And good credit to Sarah Tonkin getting behind those pitches.
This is chopped right back to Durham. She'll make the play to first. She gets in a little bit of trouble, but gets out of a jam. And Sturt are just 3 outs away from advancing to the prelim.
Wow. Yeah, that was the moment for them there. They really wanted to come through. Didn't work out. Ollie Durham kept her nerve and then threw across, made that out.
Well, Yo Grauer will trot back out in the circle. It'll be the 7, 8, 9 batters here for Sturt. Just trying to keep them in with a fight. This is the comeback Rebels. All year long, they've been feisty to the end. They've battled in this one as well.
Yeah, most definitely. Like we said, even if they walk Grauer coming up in the 7th, that puts a runner on. That gives them options to move them over with a bunt. If they can keep the runs to just this 1-run lead and get 3 outs here, it'll put them in good contention to actually play that small ball game. Again, Sasha Penguins laid down the sack bunt last time successfully. They do it again, but then it's going to fall to the 6, 7, 8, and down into your 7, 8, 9.
Someone's going to have to come up with a hit. Someone
going to have to come up with something.
But before they do that, they have to get through this 7, 8, 9 part of the lineup, where then, well, we'll see. I don't know.
Slade have Adams.
Yeah,
might have a hitter for Adams. I'm just looking. Ollie Durham is on deck.
Yeah, so Durham will.
And will bat.
I was wondering if Mensforth would be the option.
Yeah. Well, they have an option. They could bat for and then re-enter, but looks like they got her in the on-deck circle. They may make a decision based on what happens here now with Abby Weir. If she gets on.
Who's your better bunter?
Yeah.
Well, we asked early who's 7, 8, 9, who would get that done, and you look at Abby Kennedy at batting 9 today. She's had a walk and a hit, and her walk scored one of those runs in the 3rd inning that got the party started. So that is literally the 1-run difference in this game so far.
Yeah, and no hits other than 1 walk for Sophie Kinnear back in the 3rd inning.
From the bottom of the lineup for Glenelg.
Bottom lineup.
Abby Kennedy having a big game at 9. Grauer gets the swinging strike on Abby Weir.
Big swing there for Abby. At this point now, she just should be looking to make contact, get this ball. Sun in the eyes of the defense. You can see shielding their eyes again.
And it's a strikeout for Grauer. She gave up those 3 runs coming into the game in the 3rd, and since then has been pretty cruisy. Only just a couple hits.
Right on the outside edge. Nice pitch.
3rd strikeout for Grauer. You saw in the CMAX replay. Durham up to bat. Punts it straight back.
Yeah, tried the running bunt there. Let her bat drop a little low and got under it. Yeah. Be a good time to push that bunt towards Gemma Cochran at first in her first game returning. You know, is she ready? But she's creeping in now. Showing bunt again.
And Grauer just goes upstairs and powers one by the 15-year-old. Swings that one in the dirt. I think she got a piece of it for a foul ball.
Yeah, she must have just. She didn't run right away. Damien called foul ball. The moment she swung and didn't run, I was thinking, should be running. Must have just got enough of it. Hard to say on that replay.
That ball way up.
Yeah, I was expecting upstairs, but that one was on another level, wasn't it? 3rd floor.
In the attic.
Third floor, yeah. In the attic, upstairs where Norman keeps his mother. Remember that one? You watched a bit of Sports Page back home, maybe?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, she blows one by her inside, so 2 strikeouts to start the inning. Abby Kennedy, what a great game she's had. She is 1 for 1 with a walk and a run. She just got a stolen base.
Yeah, Grauer and Glenelg will be looking for a clean slate here. It'd be nice to get that 1, 2, 3 inning and have another crack at it. Sturt and Abby Kennedy have other ideas, wanting to keep this inning going.
Well, she's worked her way in a hitter's count, Abby Kennedy. It's the first of 2 games happening on this field today. The 1-2 game, the Page playoff, as they probably would have called it in curling terms. Winner goes straight to the grand final. Sturt versus, or not Sturt, Port Adelaide versus West Torrens tonight. The loser of that game will play the winner of this one on a preliminary final on Wednesday night.
I'm pretty sure we'll see Engler tonight, but for West Torrens, will it be Trzynski to start? Or will they hold her back and bring her in later?
I think you have to go in the recent history of that game. I think you just want to win and just get to the grand final. Because the team that has lost the 1-2 game the last few seasons has lost the preliminary final.
And Grauer battles back to 3-2 after 3 straight balls.
The award winner is going to be determined tomorrow night as well. Big week of softball. Grauer the pitch, fouled away.
You there tomorrow night, Eric?
I will not be there tomorrow night, but I'll be watching closely. Going to be anxiously wanting to see who wins the Cath Coral medal. Belle White would be in the mix. Steph Trzynski might be in the mix as well. Maddie Cameron floating in there.
Too close to call.
It's going to be tight, I think. I think it's going to be 1 or 2 votes that will separate the winners again. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. Tough one to pick.
A lot of deserving players in the running, most definitely.
Hard on Sturt because Belle White's had the great year, but so has Maddie Cameron and Sarah Tonkin. So do they take votes off each other? Do they? Swing and a miss. Abby Kennedy down. Joe Grauer. Yo strikes out the side. Keeps Glenelg in with a chance going to the 7th inning, and it'll be last chance to dance for the Rebels.
Well, it took a while, an 8-pitch at bat, but finally got her swinging with the down ball there. And they get their clean sweep, and now they're back to the 7th and their last chance. Like you said there, Eric, sorry.
Yeah, Yo Grauer, there you look. There's the awards night tomorrow. It should be a fun one. There's a few awards on the table over in the Hills function room at Club Marion. There's some sneaky dark horses, I think, in the Cath Coral medal, too. I think Regan Diaz is going to probably pull pretty high as well.
It's a possibility. She had a fantastic season, and I'm biased on that one because I got to see her every day in the games they're coaching. But, yeah, she wouldn't be a non-deserving winner if she did pull that off.
On a team that, it's on Sturt, there's a few players taking votes off each other. I mean, when Seacom won, usually Diaz had a big game, so. That's true.
Also worked their way into the Open Women's Stars team, went away to, where were they, in Canberra this year?
Yep.
Had a good turn out there, batted well.
Port Adelaide, you have players like Brie Marcelino. Jess Golden is the defending winner. They're all in the mix. I think it's going to be tight. Lana Kaesler had a big year this year on West Torrens.
Batting very well and playing well at shortstop. Brie Marcelino at shortstop also. Very incredible plays there. Looks very good.
The votes will be tight, but right now this game is tight. It's the last chance for Glenelg. They're down a run. All scoring has happened in the 3rd inning. Glenelg had a 2-0 lead at one point that was quickly washed away by 3 runs for Sturt in the bottom part. Olivia Durham came in at the start of the 5th inning, and she's bent a little bit, but she has not broke in her 2 innings so far. No hits against her, although there's been 3 walks.
So 2-0 already, the Grauer. It looks like they're trying to keep it away from her again. This might be the time to pitch to her. You lead off walk and you give them that opportunity. 3 straight balls here. It looks like they don't want to let her do the damage. And they take their chances with Penglaze, Kinnear, and Nicholson.
3 walks so far for Grauer.
As we go further too, that sun factor is again changing all the time here for the defensive team.
Well, Grauer is aboard for the 4th time today. But what sort of sums up Glenelg's afternoon is she has not scored yet, Yo Grauer. She's going to have to score if Glenelg want to keep their season alive.
On base percentage of 1,000, batting average 0. No at bats.
No at bats.
No at bats.
Penglaze up to bat now. First pitch strike. Will they bunt here? They did that last time. Penglaze laid down a bunt.
Just looking down at Nat Brinkworth there at third base, and she didn't put any signs on. She just gave her the hit away sign.
Penglaze had the RBI hit with bases loaded back in the third inning. They intentionally walked Grauer, loaded the bases with 2 outs, and Penglaze turned on one to cash in a run. But from 6, 7, 8, 9, no hits today for Glenelg. That surely has to change if they want to win. Penglaze goes after one, 2 strikes on her, fouled away.
Sarah Tonkin again getting down and blocking that ball. Any of those balls get through, suddenly Grauer moves up, next base, and she's in scoring position on a freebie. Tonkin, great job behind the plate today.
Knocked up the middle, it's a base hit, and it's bobbled to center field from Cameron. Yo Grauer's going to third. She's gonna stand up, and it's runners on second and third.
Wow. The Battleback team is making a go at it. Great hit.
A rare misplay from Maddie Cameron.
Yeah, Maddie Cameron got around, got there early, and it actually kicked back a little bit on her. And there was no way they were going to third on that one until that ball gets off of Maddie Cameron. You can see Grauer had stopped at 2 and then had to kick it into gear again to get over to 3.
How's the feel from Coach Brinkworth to say, the textbook says bunt in that situation. Yep. Bottom of the lineup isn't grooving. We're going to let a woman who's got a hit already swing away. And now the tying run at third, the go-ahead run at second. But it's Kinnear, Nicholson, and Walkup due up with no outs, and none of them have hits so far in this game.
Well,
that has to change.
In baseball circles, sometimes they don't want to play for one when you're the away team. You play for the win, and you let them go ahead and hit because you could tie the game and then give the other team a shot to win it. And that's exactly what they did there. They went ahead, swung away, and 2 in scoring position with none out.
The comeback Rebels all season long. Multiple walk-off wins, multiple come-from-behind efforts. They've always done just enough to stay in games. The team that won't die.
Infield in.
This is grounded, charging on is Belle White. She holds the runner, it's in the dirt. The bases are loaded. White did do a good job of saving the run, but it was a quick throw, and now the bases are juiced.
Look, did everything she could there, charging, played that ball, looked the runner back, and threw on the run. And just a bit low, and Riley Moore just quite couldn't dig it out of the dirt that time.
Tate Nicholson.
Don't know whether they scored that an error, an infield hit. I can't see. Possibly an infield hit. The amount of coverage that Bell had to run to get that and throw it.
Ball in the dirt, and this is where, as you said, Bill, the blocking ability of Sarah Tonkin is at a premium right now.
Yeah, you can't throw that many balls down to try and get your batters to hit the ball on the ground and not have faith in your catcher, and she's done a fantastic job out there. And that one misses.
A nervy call, a nervy take from Tate Nicholson. And it is a 2-1 count, and there's a little smirk from the youngster.
Ooh, looked pretty good on the replay, but dipping a bit low.
A couple high school students going at each other. Durham to Nicholson. Nicholson to right field. She's tied the game. She's out at first, but Glenelg will trade that off because Tate Nicholson has come up roses.
How about that? That's a fantastic piece of hitting by Tate to put the ball to the right side. Anyway, putting it on the right side, got a chance to score that run. She gets thrown out at one by a great play by Abby Kennedy. We saw her try it earlier. And even though she's thrown out at one there, look at the smile on Tate's face knowing that she drove in that tying run. Comes off, high fives. And that leadoff walk to Grauer is the tying run.
And I don't know if that was scored an infield hit or not with Sasha Penglaze. If it wasn't, that would be the first hit of the game. Oh, no, it wasn't a hit even.
No, it wasn't
even a hit.
We expected, but it was a 9-3.
It was a 9-3. Wasn't even a hit, but it was in the outfield. Yeah, the rare 9-3 RBI putout.
That's right. There you go.
To tie the game up at 3, and there's still 2 runners in scoring position.
I just love everything about that hit to the right side with the runner on 3. It gives them a better shot at scoring. Even if it's grounded out to first base or second, it's a tougher play. And tougher to run the double play or any of that stuff on if you wanted to attempt that.
Well, the bottom of the lineup has come to life here for Glenelg with their season on the line, and the comeback Rebels have done it again. But can they hit the front is the question. They might need to, knowing that due up is Tonkin, and White.
Yeah.
They're going to need, needless to say, more than 3 runs.
Now, Sophie Warkup, you got her at 1 for 15. Not had much success here batting. Today she's put the ball in play twice. And more importantly, Gemma Cochran, who's on deck, her last at bat was a solid fly to center field, not the little dribblers we saw early.
Walk up, down on strikes. That's a nervy pitch from the 15-year-old Olivia Durham. And there are now 2 outs. And Gemma Cochran, who has made a remarkable return to the lineup in time for finals, has the go-ahead run at third, but she needs a base hit to score the run.
Yep. Soft tapper to third, first time up.
Rolled over towards third. It's got to be played by Weir across the diamond. It is. It could have been more, but Glenelg get enough to tie the game.
Wow.
Going to the bottom of the last. But an opportunity, 7-8-9. Couldn't find the hit, although Tate Nicholson had the RBI.
Yeah. Well, Tate came through, and there you go. It's the tail of 7-8-9, and that was a great piece of hitting to score that tie run. Now the pressure switches back, well, to both teams equally here. You know, Sturt, nothing to lose to go for the win here. Glenelg's got to hold them, and after that, we're extra innings.
So it'll be Yo Grauer versus Sarah Tonkin, Rachel Tonkin, and Belle White. Belle White is 3 for 3 today. Sarah Tonkin, who hit .470 in the season, is a rare 0 for 3, although one of them was a bunt. Tonkin 1 for 3. This is getting dicey here. You can see the scoreboard in right field. Glenelg scored 2 in the third. Sturt responded instantly with this part of the lineup, driving in 3 runs. Belle White had the RBI double. Maddie Cameron an RBI double as well to make it 3-2. And then in the top of the last, Glenelg clinging to life support, tie the game.
The battle back team they have, but you're in a situation here where if Sarah Tonkin can get on here, her sister is very good at bunting. Rachel can put the ball down, and the Falcons have 1 run to play for. They get that 1 run, it's over.
Sarah Tonkin, first pitch swing, charging on is Sasha Penglay. She makes the play, 1 down. And Bill, you have to look back to the last time Belle White was on base in the 5th inning. It was Horton throwing her out to Shepard at third as Belle White tried to steal third. That ended up saving for sure 1, maybe 2 runs because Riley Moore on the next pitch bashed 1 to center field.
Yeah, that's looming large right now, isn't it?
Rachel Tonkin. Huge at-bat for Yo Grauer to make sure Belle White has nobody on base.
Even with nobody on base, you'd be worried about facing Belle White in this situation, wouldn't you?
I think you're always worried about facing Belle White. And Maddie Cameron as well. Tense times in the elimination final here in the CMAX Premier League. It has been a dandy. Pop straight up. Horton, 2 down.
Well, a foul fly ball straight back up. This one was a much easier task for Horton behind the plate. Didn't have to come all the way back to screen. And nice and secure, puts that one away in her glove.
And the bases are clear for Bell, and if Yo Grauer can get her out, then all of a sudden the favor almost shifts to Glenelg, who have their top of the lineup due up.
Well, anything can happen if they get extra innings, but yep.
But we're still a long way from extras. We're 1 out away.
1 out away.
But there's a lot that can happen with White and Cameron, the 2 women here up for Sturt. It's a 1-1 count. What a game. Hopefully sets the tables for what should be a dramatic finals week.
Well, the game's been so good, I would be glad if it continued. Hard hit ball. Barreled that one up just a little early. But I would be glad if this one continued. Wouldn't you, Eric?
I would be glad too, because we got to figure out if that was ruled an infield hit or not, because as in my scorebook, if that was an error, it means that Ollie Durham allowed the run but hasn't allowed a hit in this game.
Oh, okay, yeah. I would think. I haven't checked on that.
We'll check. We'll see if it's even relevant based on this at-bat right here.
Correct.
It might be a moot point.
Fair enough.
But right now, Grauer locked in a battle. The woman that's being part of a big turnaround of South Australian softball in Yo Grauer versus the woman that's been the face of South Australian softball in Belle White in an elimination final. Wow, it's a ball.
Wow is right. And the turnaround of Horton to have a look at the home plate umpire. Grauer's face says it all.
She dialed it up too.
Want that one. I don't think she swung, but whether or not it's a called strike or not, I couldn't see location.
White to left field, moving back, extra innings.
Wow, that's a long fly ball out there, and Sasha Penglaze looks very sigh of relief as she watches that one into her glove.
That was crunched. It was just one of the cases where it was right to a glove.
Yes, after getting Bell to take on a pitch that's questionably close, they got her to chase one just a little bit up in the zone. Now, up in the zone can also be danger because that ball could carry a little bit more if the batter gets, but just missed it. And
so Sturt in the minor rounds tied for second on wins and runs allowed, which is the first tiebreaker, and they lost on the second tiebreaker to be pushed from second into third place and play in the third, fourth game, which is what they're in now. And in the third, fourth game, after a tiebreaker in the regular season, it's another tiebreaker that they have to go to here.
Another tiebreaker. It's amazing. Now, Gemma Cochran was the last out last time. Whether they have a runner come in for her. They've got Cochran has the helmet on.
And this is where it gets interesting because base runners will start on the paths in extra innings in these tiebreak rules.
They'll be starting at second base. The general rule of thumb is you're looking to bunt that runner over. You know, you're sacrificing that, but get that runner all the way to 3, and then anything can happen after that. Some coaches may go aggressive, like we saw already. They were swinging in what would have been a bunt situation last inning. And successful as Sasha Penglaze, instead of bunting when Yo Grauer got on, hit the single, which turned into an extra base error and moved them both over to scoring position.
Does the fairy tale season for Glenelg continue? Or do a powerhouse of the last ever end their hopes?
Top of the order here for Glenelg, which puts them in, like you said, really kind of switches the power their way, doesn't it?
And Maddie Cameron, though, leading things off for Sturt, which is a big tick in the box of Sturt as well.
Yes.
So Gemma Cochran is heading out to second base.
Yep. And Belle White will be the runner, which is also a good runner to have in that situation. And they've re-entered Zali Adams.
So Zolly Adams, a player maybe with a little bit more experience than Ollie Durham in these moments. So Zolly started this game.
Again, Ollie pitched a good chunk and played a good chunk of the B-grade game beforehand. Maybe just starting to run out of gas a bit. Zolly's had time to recharge.
Pitched the first 4 innings of the game, Zolly Adams, allowed the 2 runs back in the third, but it all started with a bit of a miscue at second that led to those runs. Horton knocks one away, foul.
And they're swinging away. Again, they're not looking to play the small game here.
Well, you probably have your most powerful batter in Sydney Horton up to bat, other than Yo Grauer.
Again, that sun factor getting worse now. Maddie Cameron has her glove up in front of her in center field, making visibility tough.
What a pitch from Zolly Adams on the changeup. Ball and 2 strikes on Horton. There's a great softball hush going around the diamonds right now. There's a lot of cheers from the crowd. And then as soon as, it's just an Adelaide thing, I think it's the same in baseball. As soon as that pitch is about to be thrown, it's a hush.
Yep, so quiet.
Horton to right field. Abby Kennedy, who's had a heck of a game at right field defensively and with the bat. She'd be in contention for the CMAX player of the game, Abby Kennedy.
Horton fouling off a changeup again, second changeup in that at bat. Zolly confident to throw it. And another changeup. Got her for strike 3.
A great pitch from Zolly Adams. There's been some great coaching maneuvers in this game from both of the coaches so far. Think about Nat Brinkworth allowing, in her best coaching decision of the game, was letting Sasha Pengele swing with a runner on in the 7th that ended up tying the game. And now Justina Adams pulling out a card and putting in another pitcher. Also, Ollie Durham pitched amazing. That was a great pitching change too. So both coaches, the game with big hits, clutch moments, comebacks, stars being stars, defensive plays, heroes being heroes. Tate Nicholson, Abby Kennedy, the likes of those, and great coaches' decisions.
Rising stars making their plays, yep.
It's had everything.
It has. Now, Bree McGee has a hit and a walk in her last 2 at-bats. Struck out earlier and flew out to second. Can put the ball in play.
And McGee takes a pitch on the outside edge. 3 balls and no strikes. Don't let it get to Grauer is what you'd probably be thinking if you are Sturt. You need that 1-2-3 inning.
Yeah, you want to come after Bree McGee here. It's still a good hitter, but you want to put the pressure on her and not get the Shepherd with 2 on and get the Grauer with more than 1 on.
Knocked to second. Scooped up by Tonkin. It is an out. It does advance the runner to third. Now Courtney Shepherd up to bat. She's 1 for 3 on the day with a walk. Can she put Glenelg in front, or will Sturt be in commanding position with Maddie Cameron coming up to bat?
So you go back and look, and you don't want to second guess, but by not bunting the runner over to 3 there, if they had bunted her over, that ground ball to second possibly scores that run from 3. But don't count them out.
And a swing right to White. It's a 1-2-3 inning on the pitching change from Zolly Adams. It takes the bat out of the hand of Yo Grauer. And now Sturt will have the winning run in scoring position to start this inning.
Well, it's just where they were last inning, needing 1 run to win. The difference is that 1 run is 2 bases up the line.
Well, Bill, I mean, you mentioned that do you play to the situation or do you play to the player? It's that old coach's challenge here, because Sydney Horton's certainly one of the best pitchers. You can't blame Nat Brinkworth for saying, hey, go swing here, we need to run. So the situation says bunt. Now it's the same thing here. You have Belle White on second. Now coming up to bat is Maddie Cameron. She's hitting .446 this year. She has an RBI in this game already, and she led the competition and runs batted in this year. Play to the situation, not the player, right? Situation says bunt, but the player says swing. So what do you do?
Yeah, well, it's going to come down to, again, their confidence in Maddie Cameron getting this bunt down. You know, as a coach, when you're going through your hitting and doing your practice and things like that, some players are very suited to bunting, are very good at it, commit to it. Some are not. And whether or not Maddie Cameron is, that's going to be what Justine Adams got to figure out.
So what's your mathematical best chance? Is it Maddie Cameron bunting and having a runner on third, and then Moore and Hutchinson having a chance? Or is it Maddie Cameron swinging away, trying to win it there with the bottom part of the lineup, which Riley Moore, though, she's a dangerous hitter. She's hitting 375 on the year, but once it gets below that, the numbers start to drop.
And don't forget, you can go a little bit out the window here and show bunt. Now they're going to put it on right away. And you can show bunt here now and steal. That's another thing you can do. But
I completely forgot about, but that's the right call, because Maddie Cameron doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The runner on second matters. Maddie Cameron doesn't matter. You can't win the game 5-3 on the walk-off here. It's going to be 4-3 in the book.
Correct. And that's the right call in this play. Now they got to force it every base, but they've got Riley Moore to contend with.
Now do you bunt with Riley Moore and put runner on second and third and advance the runner to third? Or is it too risky?
Well, I think you do. I think you do. Very aggressive leads.
From Bell.
Yeah. And good coverage by Kinnear, actually getting over to third there as both the corners came in quite aggressively. Bell had a very, very big lead, but Kinnear was there waiting. You watch on the replay here, the CMAX replay. Long lead, but Kinnear's beat her.
Jammed, and Horton was having a look. That one slipped away. It's just a strike, 2 on her.
So they show bunt, then they take bunt off, let her swing away. It is a bit of cat and mouse, isn't it?
It's been cat and mouse since they said play ball. What a contest this has been here in extra innings. Sturt can win it right here. But Yo Grauer goes upstairs and gets Riley Moore down on strikes. And now it's in the hands of another player who was playing under 16s last year. Burst her way into the starting lineup for Sturt, is batting 6th in the lineup and hit .446 in 12 games. Hannah Hutchinson, what a moment for her.
Yeah, and she has had good swings in this game. And I've seen her hit a few balls very well. Looking to put the ball in play here, something up the middle or pull it. If she can pull it, move the runners over. She fouls that one off.
Tense moments at the ballpark. Can Hutchinson play hero? She's going to lay down the bunt. Scooped up. Well, the bunt was laid, the out was made, but there's a lot of pressure on every aspect of the game right now. The winning run is at third base. A pass ball wins the game. And Abby Weir going to have a chance to win the game for Sturt with 2 outs.
2 outs. The pitch to Abby Weir. You got Zali Adams on deck.
Abby Weir 0 for 3 today. She hit .293 on the season. Zali Adams was 2 for 19 on the year and 0 for 2 today.
Thing I like about Abby Weir is that she can pull the ball, but she can also hit for the situation. And the situation now is get contact, drive it up the middle, go the right side.
Grauer blows one by her. It's a strike.
Just taking time to recollect her thoughts there. That's a very mature move, actually, for a young batter, is just take the moment, say, hey, time up, get myself set, get my head right, know what I need to do, and get back in there.
Two strikes, and the ball gets away on the throwback, and Belle White was just a little bit too far, and oh my goodness, a bit of a miscue on the throw almost cost Glenelg their season. And Joe, you can see Yo Grauer takes a deep breath too with a sigh of relief.
That ball thrown back a little high, and Belle had already just put her head down as she walked back to the base.
This is jammed over towards third base. Will it fall? Diving to make the catch! We play on! An unbelievable play forces another extra inning.
Wow, you can hear the noise behind us now. Everybody's getting behind that, holding their breath on the pitch, but then once the action happens, exploding. Jammed her a bit. Gonna come down just in foul territory, and Shepard does a great job to catch that one. That's a tough play for third base going back like that. Usually the shortstop comes across, but not high enough, not enough time, and she had to stay with that.
And she wasn't the starting third base to start the year. That was Gemma Cochran's spot. Now it becomes interesting because, Bill, I mean, we thought that, you know, on reflection, it was the absolute right call to walk Maddie Cameron because the run didn't matter. Yeah. But Yo Grauer, she's up to bat to lead things off. There's going to be a runner on second. That run does matter if you put her on base.
Correct. It's not just one run to win it now. If they score two, now you're chasing
game
two
still
runs.
goes on no matter what.
That's right.
So, and again, it's that same question that I asked you before with Maddie Cameron. The situation says bunt, but the player says swing away. So what do you choose, situation or player?
You got to know your players, and you got to go by your gut here in this case.
And the player is part of the situation.
That is correct. And look, I would say that, and they're putting Grauer on now as we speak, so she's heading down to first base.
And again, that matters. So Yo Grauer has been on five times today, 3 walks, 2 intentional walks. So, walk, intentional, walk, intentional for Yo Grauer today.
Well, now Penglay's coming up to bat, has been able to do both. She can bunt, she has sack bunt, and she has hit away and got the single when they had runner in scoring position. I say you got to bunt in this situation.
RBI single in the third, and then that hit that forced the situation, and she swings first pitch. Abby Kennedy was having a look.
And look, don't ask me about anything anymore because it's all out the window here in this game.
And the coaches have made some great moves,
bold
both of
choices,
them. You think about the move back to Zolly Adams. That was great for Justina Adams in the 8th to get her in this situation. Nat Brinkworth, the way she navigated that last half too. Yep. Both coaches are having a good one.
And this time showing bunt and missed to go 0-2. Now, do you bunt with 2 strikes? And in some cases, coaches would say, yes, we can trust her here. Let's do this. Or
risky proposition, though.
It is, because obviously you bunt foul with 2 strikes, you're out.
She'll take a pitch up high. 2 for 4, though, today for Sasha Penglis.
Yep. Hey, she's been a good player today. She's made some good plays out in left field and put the ball in play. See what happens.
Penglis puts another ball in play. Maddie Cameron's got to fight the sun. She makes the play. Mensforth was charging on as well. It's 1 down. Well, now one of Sophie Kinnear or Tate Nicholson is going to have to come up with a base hit.
Almost a collision there. They actually touched after that catch, but good catch by Maddie Cameron. No chance to advance by the runners. Now you've lost one out, and you haven't advanced the runners.
How's the nerve of Zolly Adams? Grounded over, it takes a funny bounce and it gets through. The runner is being sent home. Here's the throw. There's no play at the plate. Glenelg are in front.
And you can see the shaking of the cameras as everybody's banging and going crazy here. Just chops it to the right side, off the glove and past the glove of Rachel Tompkin, who is coming across to cover.
It was almost a double doink. Did that go off 2 different gloves?
I don't think it went off of Rachel's, but it definitely went off of Riley's. And you can see when Shepard gets the 3, she's ready to stop, but she gets waved home, slides in safely.
The comeback queens do it again. They were down 3-2. They scored in the 7th to force extras and now have taken the lead in the 2nd extra inning. Tate Nicholson has an RBI. It wasn't a hit, but she drove one to right field, and it was a 9-3 putout, but that was the one that tied the game, Tate Nicholson.
And now you got Grauer at third, and you've got Kinnear at first. You got a 1-3 with 1 out.
Well, this is where the intentional walk of Grauer could be costly.
Yes, you're right. As you said, that run counts. And by not pitching to her and putting her on, that's right.
And the intentional walk of Grauer was costly in the 3rd inning as well. Grauer has not had an at-bat in this game.
Now, a sac fly here will score, but the outfield is in quite shallow. Very, very brave to take that pitch with that situation.
And you feel for Zolly Adams here, too, because that wasn't a hard-hit ball. She has come in and held her nerve amazingly so far, Zolly Adams.
Yeah, but you get the ball in play, anything can happen, right, Eric?
Especially in the sun right now.
Yeah. And they're all shielding your eyes. You can see Riley Moore at first base, glove up.
Makes it hard to get a jump on even plays like that into foul territory. Still just one out. 1-3 split, and a fly ball could be enough to score. A ground ball to the right spot could be enough to score, and I think Brinkworth will be aggressive with Grauer. That ball in the dirt could also score a run. That time Tonkin blocks it.
Great block by Tonkin. Infield is up, outfield is up. They're looking to play this now. Danger here, if Nicholson gets this one over the outfield, that's going to cash in several runs.
Adams just missed, yeah.
Just missed it again. Read my mind there, Eric.
You can see the smile on Zolly Adams' face, too.
Like it can't be by much, but
no. Well, it's full count. Elimination game, extra innings. And she swings at ball 4, and it's 2 down.
Yep, the moment she swung the bat, she knew she chased ball 4 there.
Well, Sophie Walkup has had 1 hit all season in her 9 games played. She's 0 for 4 today. Wouldn't this be a nice time for a second? She's had some good at-bats, Sophie Walkup. Even the strikeout, you know, she struck out looking, but it was deep in the count.
Yep. Flew to 8, flew out to center, and also had a ground ball to Rachel Tonkin.
Yeah, and a shortstop at one point, too. So 3 times in play. 4-3, 6-3, fly out, and a strikeout.
Right.
So she's had some competitive at-bats today, Sophie Walkup. Is this the time for a decisive base knock? Fouled right back.
Tonkin holding on to that foul tip.
What a gutsy effort from Glenelg just to be in this position. And a swing and a miss, 2 strikes now on Walkup. Adams trying to hold firm. Well, the ball down low. She's trying to go off speed again. That changeup's been dangerous from Zolly Adams all day. It's been working for her.
It has been. It's been a good pitch for her.
Grounded up the middle. Adams played cleanly, makes the play. Glenelg do score 1 run, and they'll hold a 4-3 lead going to the bottom of the 9th. They are 3 outs away, but Sturt will start with a runner on second. It's been a wild one here, and just a reminder, ever since COVID, the winner of this 3-4 game has won the preliminary final and gone on to the grand final. The loser of the 1-2 game has been out in straight sets every year since COVID. So this game is huge.
Huge. That's an amazing stat that that's what has happened. But like I said, you lose this game or you lose that other game and you feel a little bit down, and you come into the next one with the winner of this game feels up, you know, anything can happen.
Grauer now pitching into her 7th inning. She came on in the 3rd with a runner on first and nobody out, and has pitched ever since then. She did get hit around in that first inning she was in when Tonkin and White and Cameron combined for 3 straight hits to score Sturt's only 3 runs of the game in 1 successive order.
Now it is going to be up to the 7, 8, 9 here to get it done for Sturt, and the last out there, Abby Weir, will be the runner at second base, and Zolly Adams staying in the game. will be the, can't re-enter her again. So if they bunt for her here, they'd have to go to someone else. So she's staying in.
Abby Kennedy, who has been a monstrous player in this game, is also due up.
Now this is a dead set bunt situation for me.
And it is. It's popped straight up though. And it's made by Horton. That's disaster for Sturt. Well, you'd hear Lee Hull, you can hear him say, don't bunt on the first pitch because you risk it being popped up. And that's exactly what happened.
Also, Yo Grauer throwing a bit of a lifter there up high in the zone, and that forces the batter to get on top.
Big moment here for Abby Kennedy.
She shows bunt, and the corners are in so far. They're like they're having a conference at home plate.
Sarah Tonkin due up after this. One of their big four at the top of the lineup will get a crack at it. She's showing bunt again, Kennedy.
Now that could be a tactic, and also Kennedy is good at running bunt.
She's fast.
She is fast. But that also could be to draw in the infield, draw them in now and try and slap it past them. We'll see. She was definitely bunting on that one.
One ball, two strikes. Swing and a miss. Sturt are down to a final out, but the tying run remains in scoring position. And Sarah Tonkin, who is 0 for 4 on the day, a rare game without a hit after hitting .470 during the season. Now, here's the dangerous question is, do you put Sarah Tonkin on and face Rachel Tonkin? But that's risky because that run also matters, because then you'd be flirting with the chance that Belle White could win it.
Correct.
I don't think you can do it. I think you have to let Sarah Tonkin just swing away here.
You got to go after Sarah here and not put her on. You might pitch her a little bit dangerous or carefully and try and make, keep your danger down and let her just chase a pitch that's not in the zone.
Here we go. First pitch strike from Grauer.
The outside edge. I wouldn't give her anything in here because she can pull the ball. That's where she likes to hit it. But she gets this ball in play. She's fast and she can beat out one of those close ones. Infield now has moved back. Regulation.
Tonkin puts it in play, but Sturt down to their final strike.
And you see there, that ball is also on the outside edge and even lower. And it made her chase a pitch. She didn't want to. Danger now. Watch out for Yo Grauer throwing it up in the zone, out of the zone. And
she's had so many clutch moments in her time, Sarah Tonkin. She needs to come up with one here. Lays off a pitch.
Change up. Change up outside. Could be Grauer just showing a pitch here now to come back with the kill.
Wow, Tonkin by a whisker keeps Sturt's season alive, and that smile says she knows it.
Yeah, absolutely. Grauer's come back with that lifter designed to strike her out. Tonkin gets enough of it to stay alive. She's still fighting.
And now a ball bobbled. Runner at second, she's a bit off the bag, my goodness.
If you could have a camera on me right now, you'd see my hand is up saying, stay, stay, stay. Don't even tempt it to go on that one. Nice play by Horton to keep that ball in play. Almost had the other play similar to an inning or two ago, down at third base.
Swing and a miss. The comeback queens strike again, and they'll play on Wednesday in the prelim.
Wow, battle back, battle back, battle back. You can never count them out. There's their faithful fans up there making all that noise. And the hugs and the joy you can see in that picture right there. They've done it all year long, Eric, and they've done it with a changing lineup from week to week. Amazing, amazing.
Well, just so many gutsy moments you can think of now that you know Glenelg have won. You look back to the 5th inning as they're going to salute the fans. But you look back at the 5th inning, Horton, that throw to Shepard, that tagged Bell White at third, then there was a hit on the next at bat that would have scored 1 or 2 runs. We're not even in extras. Think back to the 7th Bill Benedictson, where it was a kid, a high schooler in Tate Nicholson, that slashed one to right field that tied the game. You needed the bottom of the lineup to step up. 7 got it done, and in an extra innings, it was a ball put in play from Sophie Kinnear, which caused all kinds of chaos to score the run, and Yo Grauer standing firm after allowing 3 runs in the 3rd.
Absolutely. Tate to be so happy on a throw out. She got thrown out at first base and scored that run to keep it going. Classic at bat and classic game. Again, I'll double down on my...
Well, here's a look at some of the highlights from the game. And this is our Sports Center moment, Bill Benedictson. I don't know, you can be Onright or Tool, I don't know what we want to do. Either way, that was a great catch from Yo Grauer early in the game. But there was that walk, the bases-loaded walk, made it 2-0 for Glenelg, and that intentional base on balls came back to kill him. But Sturt responded. Bell White, with a 2 RBI double, tied the game as soon as you could say hello once Glenelg made it. And then Maddie Cameron, I mean, this was another booming shot that gave him the lead.
Oh, bang. She hits that one hard. And like I said, a 2-0 count, perfect situation. Does what she does well.
But then it sort of became like a pitchers and defensive duel all throughout the middle inning. Ollie Durham came in the game. She was brilliant. I mean, Sturt were pressuring. You can see this play right here. Yo Grauer in this situation, there was runners on first and second, nobody out. Then 2 outs here. Ollie Durham gets a strikeout to end the inning. And then this play.
Yeah, that big play there. Again, that is so close.
They ended up saving a run here, too, because Bell White called out. The next batter, Riley Moore, comes up to bat, slashes one to center field. It would have been the run that would have meant no extra innings at all. Meanwhile, Yo Grauer was mowing batters down, found her groove, and then finally, with some pressure, a ball hit to the outfield that was just bobbled a little bit before Tate Nicholson eventually could tie it up. But that was a big play from Sasha Penglaze to keep swinging.
And a key moment there that the coach Snapper decides just to let her swing away and not bunt in that play, and it pays off for him.
And it allowed Tate Nicholson, she was out on this play. It wasn't a hit, but it very much was a hit to right field that tied the game in the 7th. And then Bell White tried to go boom. Neither team could score in the 8th. And, there were some big moments, including that diving catch that forced the 9th inning. It was just big defensive plays all along. It was just all guts and glory here from Glenelg, the comeback queens, and this was the winning run off of one glove, under another. Ball rolls through the outfield, and that was the difference maker before Grauer could strike out Tonkin to end the game.
Well, look, for a final game like that and to have it all happen, go extra innings, I think we've all got our money's worth there. In an exciting ball game. Both teams should hold their head high. They both battled well. They both played well. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose, Eric. And today, the Battleback Rebels are your winners.
Give me a CMAX player of the game from your eyes, Bill Benedictson. It's a tough one to pick. I've got a couple in mind.
Well,
I'll pick whatever one you don't go. We'll go from Glenelg because they won. And
I was going to say you're going to have to focus on Glenelg because they're the winning team. Geez, that's tough. Sasha Penglaze, a couple of hits and a couple of good plays. Yo Grauer shuts the door a little bit on him. I can't pick it. There. I'm going to say, who drove in that last winning run?
Sophie Kinnear. I'm going Yo Grauer for this reason. One, she was unbelievable those last 5 innings to shut the door, but also Yo went walk with 2 intentional base on balls in the middle. And it's not that Yo could be effective with the bat because they took it out of her hands, but it was the respect that she commanded that caused chaos, right? She got Sturt thinking and doing crazy things. The intentional base on balls in the 3rd to Grauer, because she was just Yo Grauer, caused a run. Then she was walked again on a 4-pitch walk in the 7th. That was the tying run. And then she went 2 scoreless innings and extras. Grauer was there, but Penglaze was going to be my number 2 because Grauer was walked, so they needed somebody to move her around, and Penglaze did that.
quality hits in quality situations.
Right? So one of those two.
You make a good argument there.
Shepard as well, the tag at third, the catch at third. It was a gutsy effort.
Wow, yeah,
Maybe Nat Brinkworth with some brilliant coaching decisions gets the player of the game honor too.
I doubled down on her as a leading contender for Coach of the Year this year.
Well, Eric Ballner, Bill Benedictson, we are saying goodbye. In about 40 minutes' time, you can catch the 1-2 game. Who goes to the grand final? Who will play Glenelg on Wednesday night? So you'll hear from me probably on Wednesday night, but I'll sit back and watch this next one on Spacequake Sports. Thanks for joining in.